Okay, let's see. We should be live. So let me grab a pop-out chat. Get a little bit bigger. Make it like that. There we go. On a different platform for today, and I'm still figuring it all out, and hopefully some people will join me. Yeah, let's see if I'm actually all the way live. If I open that, perhaps. Think I am. Okay, and seeing as I'll likely also upload this as a VOD, I'll just do my usual of going full on some narration, and then hopefully a few people trickle in and join me here as well. So yeah, I'm gonna put some stuff away first. It actually have a silly idea for a build I'm gonna put together, and I'm gonna go farm up some pieces for it, and actually double check that I have one of the parts that I need for it over there yet. The other one's also in there, just before I start off anyway on anything. Gonna do some countdown to farm for some of it, and I'll run some different countdown builds. So to show a little bit some of the builds that can work over there. And we'll just hang out and play around, and always feel free to hop in and ask your questions as well and stuff. And of course I'll VOD this as well and likely add it in somewhere. So I'm firstly considering which builds I am going to mess around with. Guess I'll start off with a True Patriot, a Red Patriot variant. And what I really need to do is stash some builds, because yeah, that's gonna be otherwise very much I won't have enough space really. So gonna put that away. Gonna put the full healer away. I'll put the clips away as well. I don't have enough space for that one. Maybe for this one, yes. And a half healer. About 50 spots. I'll likely have to loot some of the stuff. Countdown gives way too much loot. Gonna make sure all of the builds I am gonna, because I want to have the True Patriot, that Red Patriot at the ready, and then also this Striker PFE. Well, we'll do maybe some Negotiator, maybe some Umbra even, maybe some Heartbreaker, the Red Heartbreaker. Hell, might even take Backfire in there. Yeah, so I'm going to start farming for some Eclipse, which is part of the silly build idea. I had to very much look around my mic to find the H button, as it wasn't where I thought I could just feel for. Yes, some Eclipse. I'll give that away as a hint. I won't give it all away yet. And I'm just gonna hop into some challenging It should pop up fast enough anyway. Just gonna, in the meantime, also check that my bit rate is okay. Seems okay. Seems to be going on decently. Actually, also gonna pop up my channel and see if everything's working in there as well. It is. I'm gonna go back to that spot. Yes, hopefully some people will trickle in along the way. I do always feel that just the discovery functions of Twitch are a little bit better. Just gonna inspect one there. So yeah, 2 strikers already. I'm happy. I usually inspect my team over inspecting everybody. Just gonna check that post actually posted.
Communication relay offline.
Hyenas have taken over the power plant and triggered the lockdown.
Yeah, just gonna go through here and farm up some Eclipse. Just gonna check if the recording is actually working as well as well. VOD this up and that'll give me an excuse to act as if to continuously keep talking and not feel too much as a crazy person. So yeah, Red Patriot. It's been a while actually since I've ran this, as I usually only use this in raids, and I haven't done one in a while. We have both teams here, that makes it easy as well, hopefully, at least. Although that guy stayed alive for quite a while, although yeah, the mid-range damage debuff was up, so that explains that a little bit. Also, let me pop up this as well real quickly. There we go. Also, in a second, I should remember to mute Discord, just in case. I accidentally left my chat thing open, or like the sound on. I usually remember to turn it off. I don't think I did right now, and that could be annoying. So yeah, I have a decent team. That helps. Damage-wise, it seems okay. We're gonna get all 4 guys as well, and all 4 hunters, so it's gonna be 158 coins instead of the 140 that you get if you don't have that. Let's see. So admin is VIP, so that's the one everyone's gonna avoid. Likely, I'm just gonna head in here. Yeah, both make sense, and I'll just start the train. In a second, I'm gonna take a very hard left and see if the chest up here is lootable, which it is. So yeah, I'm gonna grab that. That's at least handy, then I don't have to run all the way around to look at the other 2 locations. And yeah, Red Patriot is just marking everything as much as possible with the red debuff and helping out people that way. It kind of works on, especially for raids. A little less so here, where I'm not marking everything, and especially not like in the raid there is one target that really needs to die, usually like a boss, and there it makes a lot of sense of just having that debuff on them, makes it go faster. But here it's a lot more spread out enemies, so I'm not going to get the debuff on everyone, and then basically the
Area secure.
amount of damage dealt versus how much debuff was active is like that ratio basically changes. But it's still effective, and especially it helps quite well with the hunters at the end. As yeah, there again, it's going to be enemies that will benefit from me putting a mark on them a lot, because yeah, they have a lot of armor, so that brings the ratio back up a little. Two nice and easy objectives next to each other. Gonna wait till my allies catch up with me. No reason to go all the way in alone.
Initiated.
I'm gonna go where this thing is. Hopefully that ally actually could have maybe gone for the far one, because yeah, people usually do go for this one just pretty steadily, and then it's best if actually someone just beelines it to that second one as well. So that one's complete. I'm gonna go searching for which chest has the loot. Along the way, marking some stuff if I can. It's not that chest, so yeah, it's gonna be the balcony. And if you're wondering what I mean, if you don't know them at all, yeah, those black chests
Systems exposed.
are some extra loot and the SHD calibrations for the run.
Stabilize cooling system. Pressure system purge required.
So always well worth getting. Can actually shoot the server from here. Do I have to be a better aim, and
Data transfer halted.
not that LMGs are conducive to aim, but you know, at short to mid range they can be quite effective. Gonna tag the boss, get some damage on him. I'm just gonna start closing the distance just so I can loot him in a second as well. I just noticed that guy's name as well. I didn't actually know they used that word anywhere in this game. Look around for some loot, nothing around, and I'll head off to the main objective. Which is the cooling tower, yeah. It's usually the one of the longer main objectives. And I'm hoping it won't take way too long to farm the parts that I'm after. I'm willing to actually spend a lot on optimization if I have to, just watch point through it, basically. Because yeah, or maybe even not optimize it first and try it out. Because yeah, it's going to be a build where I'm going to recore some stuff. So
Warning. Steam pressure increasing. System purge.
I am way alone up here. Everybody went the
I'm gonna need
long way around. This theme feels. In this case, it also kind of works out because I'm by the objective, and while they're trickling, and I'll just hit the objective real quick.
Cooling system pressure limits exceeded. Purge system stabilize the pressure.
Pulse to put everything on the map and just start my marking, and
stabilized. We need to shut off that steam.
I can kill as well if need be. And that's usually why I don't go for
Vent the steam and you're good to go.
builds that really give up their damage. Like a normal true Patriot is not going to be able to do what I do with this red Patriot.
Cooling system pressure limits exceeded. Purge system to stabilize the pressure.
Hostile assault.
I'm gonna grab this chest as well, the contents of it at least, real quick. And then I'm gonna hop on here and
Great. Now that's under control. You just
go for the objective.
and you should be good to go.
Gonna pop her pouch. Can buy myself some time. Second one's gonna be up there in a second. Oh, we're already on the third one. Okay, that's good to hear.
Exceeded. Purge system to stabilize.
Gonna move up here before the steam kills me.
Well, that worked-ish. Now that the pressure is stabilized, we need to shut off that steam.
Not a very effective thing that I'm doing there, but
Now that
it'll help a
we
little.
just need to vent the remaining
That distance is more than my weapons can really do.
Target detected.
I'm gonna hop down. Ooh, I'm gonna
Needed.
go down from the steam, of course.
Stabilized.
The second that I was hoping that I could get my heal off, but actually it was my health, of course, so that wouldn't have saved me either. I should have just jumped back up. That would have been the actual intelligent play there. Gonna put the debuff on the boss, and that's the last one, right? Yeah.
Great work, Agent. The power plant is stable. Now get the hell out of there. When you're ready.
Yeah, gonna make my way to the main box as well. Actually, I should check what red that is. And we'll head off to extraction. And I should have enough space to loot all of this. Hopefully. And otherwise it'll be a few named items at the end, and I'm not really after many names anymore. Actually, that's not true. I'm very much after some names that are a little bit unicorny. So yeah, that's going to be our first hunter.
Agent, safe Roxy. Hunters incoming.
Oh, this guy is...
Keep clear.
gonna go after that box.
System reactivated.
Not going to let it heal everybody up. I'm gonna go the long way around and start clearing this way. Several of my team members are in trouble, but
System.
I thought that was a medi drone, but it wasn't actually, so that was wasted time. Yeah. There's a chopper coming down. I hear the repelling ropes. That's actually not great for us.
System restored.
Gonna pulse again and moving forward. Hoping to kill everything before we... Yeah, somebody's killed that box, luckily. Don't actually remember what my specialization on this is. It's minigun, right?
Waiting for your signal. Shoot off a flare when you're ready to come home.
If I had some flame grenades, that would be nice here, but I'll do that. See if I can get that from going. Yeah, sometimes grenades can be useful. Okay, at least most of the team is over there doing actually something useful, so... It wasn't all bad. Not the cleanest extraction, but... I've had worse. See how many spaces I've left. 20, so could be fine. Yeah, I need to clean out my stash a little bit again just to have some space again. And actually there is a lot of stuff that can be cleaned out. A lot of golden can go away now that Electric has made all my yellow golden pieces basically relics.
Helo inbound.
And it just makes sense to replace them as well for my build collection and just have them be Electric just so that people don't, you know, just having them still can be maybe, you know, just some relic kind of thing, but I shouldn't misinform people that they should go after golden still.
Let's get you home.
Just checking that the recording was actually going off as well, because yeah, I'm very much expecting not to have that many live viewers, but I'll just use this as well as an opportunity to make a VOD out of it and put that on my channel. And I know people have do watch me there from time to time, but I'm gonna try out Twitch, see how that goes. As yeah, I feel the discoverability over here is a lot better. And I'm not of the subscription numbers on YouTube side to make it that worthwhile to stick around over there.
Safe area detected.
A day when nobody comes knocking is a good day.
It's gonna change it so that Discord doesn't accidentally disturb disturb here, because yeah, I hate it as well when others have that on and you hear the ping sounds. I'm just going on full autopilot, and that wasn't what I was after. So I'm looking for Eclipse pieces with crit damage, and that should give away a little bit what I'm gonna be trying to put together for a little bit of a test run. And we had 0 pieces with crit damage, which is always very annoying with trying to find recorable pieces. You'll find many or you'll find none, and it can sometimes take forever. And I especially want it to be, so especially not the backpack. And the holster is already spoken for, so I need it to be mask, chest, gloves, knee pads. Which kind of narrows it down to what I can keep. Yeah, nothing keepable there. But at the very least, the nice thing about Countdown is even if you don't get what you're after, you'll get some resources and you'll get some coins. But I should check how many coins I'm on before we head in. I have enough for exotic cash, I'll grab one. Yeah, I'm gonna be running some countdowns, gonna be farming for the silly little idea, and once I have it, I'll try it out a little bit. It's something that I don't think is going to be very effective, but I hope it's going to be at least a little bit interesting, and I want to, yeah, just mess around with it. And sometimes builds surprise you. Now I'm at the point that not much surprises me that quickly anymore, but it still might. I'm open for it to be able to surprise me. Actually, I'm going to keep this Red Patriot build on, and I'm going to swap to St. Elmo's. I actually do want to give St. Elmo on this a try. So we'll be doing a second run with the same build, and then after this one I'll swap to something else and if people want to see something specific, they can always request it as well for the few people that are here. And yeah, I should also go through and get all my projects of this week. It's Thursday already, and I still haven't grabbed all my exotic components from those projects. Not mission, countdown, challenging. And we're gonna head back in.
You have received an invite to another agent's group. You are now in a group.
Just gonna inspect my allies while we're waiting anyway, and get a little bit of insight on how strong they're going to be. And if it ever wants to load, and usually that gives a bit of oh yeah, that's nice. And hazard protect eclipse is always a good sight to see. That usually means that it's a player that knows countdown. High-end red, a PFE, shotgun variant, high-end shotgun. Let's see. Weird setup for Hunter's Fury, likely a lower level player. High end with Elmo. Didn't have a Fox's Prayer. Yeah. Hopefully he doesn't put out his drone. And last guy before we head in. Strikers with Tardigrade. Okay. I mean, but we have several decent looking players, so it should be fine. And worst case, I'll grab something a little bit more damaging as well. Because yeah, that's usually what matters for countdown is...
Offline.
Well, in actually all Division content is our interaction with the world is how much damage we do to it. So damage is always important. Support can help the damage go faster, or be more safe, or be more alive. But it's all about the damage. It's a nice long loading screen. That's a very nice long one. Likely in a second it will say that somebody had disconnect, which is usually what happens there.
Cleaners have infiltrated
not sure.
the power plant. They
Now
triggered
we're
a
up
lockdown.
against cleaners.
Better not have their slash and burn tactics anywhere near a nuclear reactor.
Yes, Saint Elmo. Well, I already see my...
Restrict access and secure the nuclear waste.
I just, for some reason, took way too long to load, apparently. So my allies... Oh, we have this issue. I'll give it a few seconds if everybody sticks around. Oh, hey, nice.
Unstable. Emergency.
So yeah, we didn't have a timer at the start, which is a bug that happens way too often, sadly. Both teams also spawned at the same spot, which, you know, is also not normal. Sometimes it fixes itself, but actually, I would think maybe always fixes itself, but it can sometimes take up to like 8-9 minutes. We've had it just for testing purposes. I've stuck around sometimes for like 8-9 minutes for it to fix itself, and it almost always does. But yeah, waiting 8 minutes it's better to just leave and join a fresh one. So yeah, I would really want to see what the St. Elmo kind of adds to. So many of the support builds, the Red FI, the Ongoing Directive, this Red Patriot, could benefit actually quite a bit from the inclusion of St. Elmo. Because St. Elmo is actually decent enough damage. It has that... it's not going to beat any of the modern or the high-end weapons, but It is a contender, especially because it has that 20 crit chance, together with 20 crit damage and
It should be nearby.
such. Of course, that comes at the cost that it doesn't have a damage talent or even a sustained damage talent like fast hands or something. So it's going to lose out on damage, basically guaranteed. But just that extra crit, there aren't many places where you can easily get crits without giving up way too much. So for instance, yeah, the Chameleon has a lot of crit, but that comes at the cost that it doesn't have a third stat that actually works. And I really actually like the firing pattern of this, so the recoil pattern of it. It's very stable. I can keep it on target very consistently. I would actually mess around on what the pattern of it actually is. If I remember actually after this countdown, I'll have a little bit of they spawned above us. I'll have a little look at that. I am actually curious if it's because I'm trying to actually remember what the base weapon of it technically is, but I don't remember. I can look that up though in a second. So I'm gonna guess M4 maybe. Actually, what it is, it's firing rate. So yeah, it is the M4 firing rate, of course.
Hostile.
For a second, I was doubting myself.
High-risk target approaching.
Gonna send that pulse off. Gonna try to get a tag on this boss.
Area secure.
Yeah, we have luckily plenty of
Is back online.
good damage people with us. Also just noticed that, yeah, 2 people are on very high SHT levels. And also a bunch of low SHT levels, which is always nice to see, actually. Means that there is fresh blood coming into the game. I'm just gonna see what my allies are doing. Yeah, they're going... at least one person is going administration, so I'm gonna go join them. Makes more sense as well than the hostile upload at Cooling Tower. And slide! Was always one of my favorite animations in this game. Whenever I get the opportunity, I try to do it there as well.
Tech.
But yeah, I always love sliding on the car hoods.
Rogue incinerator turret detected. Hostile incinerator turret detected. Rogue assault turret. 10 minutes to lock down. Evacuate the
Gonna break the backpack on this heavy. At least try to, but I was on fire and that
hostile assault turret.
doesn't help. And actually, after that,
Drone.
I'm gonna go after this upper objective. Not gonna...
Rogue sniper turret detected.
The faster we get the objective done,
Hostile sniper turret
the
detected.
faster we can head on to the next objectives. And pulse here, put everything on the map for my allies. And yeah, the rest of the team is trickling in now, so... I'm not gonna leave the objective even though there's one other person here. Just don't trust it as much.
Incoming. High
People have a tendency to really quickly suddenly leave. I'm kind of liking the Saint Elmo variant of this. And yeah, it makes a lot of sense for a lot of these
area secure.
Agent, you should be able to act.
these a little bit more crit starved support style builds. Although I really need to do a calculation sheet on these and see what the difference is going to be between this and the MG5 that I normally use with this build, the Fast Sounds MG5. It's easy to when a weapon feels good, like the M4 styles usually do feel good, and they feel good to shoot. They're really stable platforms, and you can keep them on target and stuff. That can make it sometimes feel that they're doing more than they're doing. Whereas maybe that MG5 is going to outdo it in output, but just the CC of this is also very valuable. Like, I'm curious, the thing with it is if basically all 8 players were running St. Elmo's, then there's basically always some shock rounds up on someone in the team. And yeah, then you basically have EC built up at all times, as long as people play decently.
Now we just need to seal those tanks. We need to secure that tank and get it back into the sarcophagus.
And yeah, just that brief CCs can just make all the difference in the world. To just save you.
Incoming. High risk hostile.
And actually, this silly little build I'm going after will actually include the St. Elmo
Hostile shock trap detected.
as well. If we get the pieces for it, of course. Although I'm confident, a few countdown runs will at least get the bare bones of the build together. And then I'll decide as well if I'll optimize it. Kind of depends on how many resources I have. I've likely already spent quite a lot, because I usually
Great work. Now just seal that bunker and stop
I'm
exposing
gonna go for this final objective.
radiation.
They're going for the other one. Yeah, the ammo actually, yeah, together with two-page, it kind of makes sense as well, because yeah, whenever I have shock rounds, I'm going after just spreading the love around a little bit, and that means that yeah, I'm tagging them and I'm shocking them, which
Nice. The plant's secure. Now let's get you out of there.
kind of works actually.
Point. Shoot off a
But yeah, in the end, it's going to be about the numbers. Yeah, I'm still looking for some Eclipse parts with crit chance or crit damage. And hopefully we've already grabbed a few, and there hopefully will be even more here. This shouldn't be too hard of an extraction. We have that hazard protection Eclipse with us as well. That does really help with these kinds of fights.
ready. Send up a flare so Taurus.
They can make it a lot easier. I'm gonna spend the rest of my shock rounds there, because yeah, I wanna shock everything else as well. Yeah, just tagging as much as I can. Gonna pulse here as well now that it's available. Just gonna spread the love there, and yeah, they're always shocking and applying my debuff, so. It's hard to see there where shots were available. I'm gonna go after loot. This is basically cleared already. Just gonna pulse one last time. Yeah, we're on cleanup duty now. just gonna have a look around if there's any loot. Not gonna pick that up. Yeah, I need them to be crit chance, crit damage, as be recording them to red. So I need that stat to be there already, because yeah, I'll use my recalculation on the core. And it's always nice when you reach the extraction early and get some extra loot from these guys. Because yeah, these parts do drop a lot of loot. There's a lot of elites, and they're dying fast together and stuff. But yeah, that does lead to a lot of targeted loot. Yeah. I'm actually curious. I'm gonna inspect that ally of mine that is quite high level. And one of them is the Eclipse that the hardware Eclipse, or the hazard protected Eclipse.
Kilo inbound on your location.
Oh, it's this guy. And the others, yeah, running PFE. Yeah, this is basically what I was running yesterday's stream as well, on, even though that was on YouTube. And
I heard a wreck.
this is my very first time actually on Twitch, and trying it out here as well, just to at least know how it works over here, just on the technical side and stuff. And I haven't decided yet which platform works better for me, as over on YouTube I do have a little bit of a I mean, I have around like 500 subscribers. It's nothing much, but for some streams people have joined me over there already, and I'm gonna egress as well.
An agent is no
Usually we could have killed a few more if the team had stayed, but I'm not gonna risk it.
Nice work. You stabilized the power grid in the...
Also, playing it safe isn't a bad idea.
safe area entered.
Swear an oath.
Yeah, just gonna quickly do two things in the background, so I'll be standing still in the game for a few seconds. Okay, yeah, that's still going. Yeah, let's sort this loot, and hopefully I did get some
Good to see you.
parts that could work. Although that's not one red yet. That's headshot, sadly. So yeah, that's second run, and we're sadly still on 0 parts. Which, yeah. Not the greatest of starts, but hopefully we'll get there. Looking at some of the other parts, seeing if there's anything usable or keepable. And if anything's worthwhile to hang on to. And no.
Thanks for the business.
But still, even in the worst cases, I will still have gotten a decent amount of countdown coins, so working towards even more caches. Yeah. Got that field proficiency as well. And we'll head back in, although gonna swap builds.
Over.
Go for something else.
I appreciate the trade.
Just for variety's sake. So yeah, we did 2 runs with Red Patriot. I'm thinking I'll take PFE Striker into the next one. And actually as well with this one I could, because what is the crit chance of this build? So it's 49.93, and with this build as well, it's going to make sense to try out the Elmo and also still leveling it as well. So here, just for my own curiosity's sake, what is my PFE level with this? So yeah, 70% with Survivalist. And yeah, these gear set based PFEs are always a lot worse than high ends, because yeah, you basically don't have to have, with a high end you get to have all the mod slots, because you'll use 3 pieces of improvised, but with 4 on Striker you need to use all 4, or maybe you could go Ninja Bike, but I remember looking at that and it didn't make sense in the end on the numbers. Because yeah, you do give up that backpack talent, and that makes Ninja Bike bag a little bit still unusable, sadly. So just in this brief interlude while we're waiting here, it's gonna have a look over here and see if my bitrate is still basically nothing's on fire. And we have only 2 dropped frames as well, so it put me in a fresh group. I'm actually, yeah, sometimes when it does that, it means that it's just basically timed out on trying to find something for you, and oftentimes that means that you'll be stuck in there for quite a while, as it's basically going to be all the way in the back of the queue. So it'll fill up everything in front of you first, and then you. So oftentimes it's better to just leave and rematch make. In the worst case, you'll be back in the same situation of just being the first person of the team as well again. So we have 2 strikers and a 3rd strikers on my team, and then let's see what the other team fills up with.
Another agent is now in your group. You have been promoted to group leader.
Why have I been promoted to group leader? That is a weird choice.
Another agent has joined your group.
They were afraid to start it. Yeah, especially on challenging, even if I was group leader or anything, I wouldn't go through and like kick people as some people do, or take the time to even do that. Like, I don't care. I saw 3 good builds in there already, like, or 2 or 3 builds already.
Hyenas have taken over the power plant.
So we have this issue again, and
Last thing we need is an RC bomb in a nuclear
I'll give it
reactor.
like, yeah, a minute again, just like we had the last time.
Find a way to relieve the pressure and fix the reactor.
Hopefully it will fix itself, and if it takes more than a minute, then I will leave and I will. Oh. So that's the second time that it did fix itself, and the reason I know the second it fixed itself, so if the second it jams me, I know that that it did
To avoid catastrophic system
that it did work.
purge required.
Oh yeah, I should just now remembered what build I'm on. I should stack up with that. This is a striker with the chest, so I do need to... I'm actually very much more reliant on stacks. Now, for instance, just the chest variant would be... I'm just gonna remove that mark. The nice thing, though, with this bug is that it does stack us all up together, so all 8 team members are here. Everyone will get all of the dog tags of the hunters, and that means that you get a little bit more the countdown coins at the end. So if you only get 3 of them, which is what commonly happens, is that if the teams don't meet up at the start, you'll only get 3 at the start and then 4 at the end. And 7 of those, when you do that, you'll end up with the other objectives on 140 coins. And if you get all 8, you end up at 158. You know, it's not a big difference, it's 18, but when you're doing 10 of these or something, then...
You're in. We need to locate the target.
Yeah, it's basically... When you've done 10, it's almost like you've done 11. If you get the get the extra points. But a lot of teams also, yeah, don't take the time to join up, and especially if you're east and west. So if one of the teams at least is north, then you can kind of easily meet up. But if especially one of the teams or the teams are basically split east and west, then yeah, there's no good way to meet up unless you really go out of your way of dragging the hunters and not killing them, which, you know, in a matchmade team is not something that is going to happen. I'm checking for chests again. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, I will always go for these as, yeah, it's a good source for SHD calibrations. And if I can farm them, I'd rather do that than spend my watch points for them. Especially on my main account here, I actually don't watch alt at all anymore. I've done it several times in the past, back when I was when it was less worthwhile as well, because I was way lower level. But nowadays I have 4 character slots filled in, and that means that I could, but I would have to delete one of my characters, and that's not something I'm willing to do. I'm quite attached to them, just emotional, you know, I have hundreds of hours on each character, so it's not likely that I will ever delete them. Or delete one to make spot for to do a watch alt with.
An agent has gone offline.
So we lost one ally. So actually we have containment and laboratory, right? We should go containment, and most of the team seems to agree. As the final main objective is also right next to it. So you're just gonna double check, yeah. Double check that everybody is going here. Because yeah, it's always, the most important thing here is just to stick together. Even if everybody does go to an objective that, like VIP, that everybody dislikes. Like if the majority of the team is already there, then it's basically decided for you. Or at least you should basically go with them. It's faster to do a bad one with all 8 people there than like split into 2 teams of 4 and, you know, waste more time basically. Gonna stack up on that heavy, I'm full, and at full stacks this build actually does do decent enough damage. It's of course a few blue cores and stuff, so it's not like it isn't an all-out damage dealing striker, but it can do enough usually. Going to add my weight to one of these. Gonna stay in the objective as well, just in case.
Hostile striker drone detected. Incoming. High risk hostile.
Got the objective, and I'm gonna go after enemies now. Yeah, the nice thing with PFE is, as the protection from elites indicates, is I'm protected from elites, and that makes it a lot easier to just run around like a headless chicken. Elites basically deal barely any damage to me, like until the point of when you reach hunters. Like hunters will still burn through me quite fast, but and if they're reds or purples that can harm me, well, they don't have that much health and armor. I can kill them quickly. Here I'm gonna not follow Isaac to the letter, because while that is the normal path that Isaac goes on, there is actually a little bit, it's not even that much of a shortcut, but
You're in.
you do gain a little bit on the person in front of you. Because yeah, the Isaac line, well, actually in Countdown is pretty good, but sometimes in the open world, Isaac is very drunk.
Steam pressure increasing.
Yeah, so we have the pressure thing. I'm gonna beeline it to the objective, and on this one I'm gonna be basically focused on the objective. And this is the nice thing with PFE, I can actually just I don't really care about the enemies if I have to, and I can take care of it like that. I'm gonna go after this chest as well, get it out of the way before I forget. I'm well known for accidentally forgetting a crate. Stacking full with Pastor, or with ACS. Gonna kill this last one, and the objective is gonna be up there, so I'm gonna already head there. One of the things is still alive. Do I go for it? I'll go for it. One thing you can do as well is just stand up here and shoot over the vents like that. So he's gonna vent. I'll go for the objective up here. Hit it right away.
Pressure limits exceeded. Purge system to stabilize the pressure.
I'm gonna help on this boss because the 70 rounds is actually messing me up a little bit. Well, it is of course nice having more rounds. I'm very much attuned to 50 rounds and hitting my reload towards the end of that.
Great. Now that
And
you just need to vent the remaining steam, and you should be good to go.
every time I keep glancing down and going like, oh wait, I still have a few rounds and I shouldn't hit reload yet, but then I instinctively do.
Pressure limits exceeded.
Okay, they hit that objective as well, which is good.
Pressure stabilized. You can cut off that steam.
Do that. I'm gonna stick around here actually. I see my team is going after there as well, so they'll be done in a second, and then we have to hit this lever in front of me. So once they get the last objective.
Great.
Yeah.
Now that's under control. You just need to vent the remaining steam,
There we go.
and you should be good to go.
It's gonna be the final wave, and then the boss with it, and then
Stabilized.
we get to extract.
Incoming. High risk hostile.
The boss died all the way across. It's gonna be the chest here.
Move to extraction point. Shoot off a flare.
I'm
support
actually
once
gonna
you're ready to go.
not pick anything of that up and just deconstruct it. It's all on the ground. I will go for the boss loot. might be. Yeah. You leave it behind, it's going to be that exact one piece that you need. Glancing over there as well for some loot, but there wasn't anything or nothing that I easily saw, so heading for extraction. Except what happens?
When you're ready to come home, shoot off a flare.
What?
Get up that hero. Incoming.
What? That's not something I have ever seen before. This will be messy, quite messy, because we're
System back online.
in a bad position there, actually. So the game put us in a loading screen and then put us at the extraction point, which is likely linked to our issue there with the start.
Agent down.
But I'm gonna pick up my ally here from safety, and then I'm gonna heal up. We lost several people, a few disconnects as well, together with it, and it's
Neutralize that hunter.
me and one other guy. So
Has left your group.
so what I'm gonna try to do, I am on PFE, so I have some survivability here. Well, except that I can't really do it without my shield. I'm gonna go over here and mess with these guys first, and I can actually, if I need to, I can rush into the point and at least get a. I'll get my ally up. I need some assistance. There's a medi-drone in the back. The one thing I want to do kind of is drag them over here so that they're mostly in that corridor. And what I'm going to do is actually go in here and...
Neutralize that hunter.
I'm all alone, which is interesting. I don't think I will survive this, which I want, yeah.
Agent down. Get out.
I was hoping to drag more people away. Yeah, we saw an interesting bug there.
Agent down.
I will actually make notes to grab a clip of that and see if it's already listed on the Trello board, and otherwise add it in and as a bug report. Although likely if it has happened there, it has then likely happened to others as well.
Hey, take a look over here.
Yeah, let's see if we have any red ones. So that is a backpack with crit damage, which is, I do not need the backpack, I just remembered now. So I don't need the backpack, I don't need the holster. So we are still, after 3 runs on on a grand total of 0 of the parts that I'm looking for, which is a little below my expectation, actually, surprisingly. I'll pop that proficiency cache and so yeah, I feel actually the Elmo is helping this build a little bit. And I actually want to see what my Elmo is up to now. So it's up to 8. And that Elmo is actually the last part I need, I believe. I'll go check just to be safe as well. Yeah, it's the last one I need before I reach expertise 23. And then it will also likely, I'll expertise it up to 20. Or try to find a better one to, or a better looking one on its stats to optimize up. I want to swap to a different build just for variety. I'm gonna run an old classic, the Heartbreaker. A build that, yeah, is full red Heartbreaker. It's been phased out a little bit because of our reworked friend of Striker, but
Agents group. Receive.
it never, well, I mean, it got that big nerf, of course, which was very much needed to it. It was quite insane before it. And it got brought back in line a little bit, from way too much overpowered to just a little bit overpowered. And it actually stayed on that level. The only thing that really happened is that strikers came in and overshadowed it by quite a lot. And strikers does overshadow it by quite a lot, mostly because you can, well, you have a higher damage potential. You also aren't tied to a fixed specialization because you need the pulse with this, which requires technician. On the other hand, that does give you basically flatline for quote unquote free, but yeah, that comes at the cost again of 5 crit chance, and then but in the end, it's just Heartbreaker in a full red setup just gets a little bit outclassed.
The True Sons have
So we have it again, where we are
taking over infrastructure
all over here.
legitimacy to their cause.
One person instantly left,
They control
which
the region.
isn't the right choice.
We need to shut down the broken transformers.
I do always give it a minute. If it doesn't, then it doesn't, but it's gonna take longer than we had here now, anyway, to find a new group.
Protocols activated.
So I would rather just give it a minute.
Excessive power detected
We've suffered through the waiting and loading anyway already, and hopefully it does.
System activated.
I'm just gonna hide while he runs away, and we got him just as he was about to get that heal off. Oh, we do have the close range damage buff as well, active on this run. And that one can bug out quite often. Not only can, it usually does bug out and gives the team a much higher damage output. A much higher damage output. I'm gonna go for safety. He's gonna be focused on me.
System malfunctioning.
I'm surprised nobody is Scorpioing. Usually with... you get one Scorpio at least, usually. I'm just gonna hang out here and...
System back online.
they'll get to me, hopefully, eventually. For the final fight, I will actually swap my ACS to Scorpio, even if it is worse than the ACS for stacking. Seeing as nobody else is Scorpioing, then yeah, I'll give up some damage to provide that. It's surprising, there's a bunch of higher level ones in here. See, I'm gonna give it a second, see where they're heading off to. One player's already going cooling tower, and the rest, yeah, that will usually start the lemming train. I'm gonna lemming with them as well.
Target identified.
It's nice to see someone else running a pulse as well. It is one of the better skills I actually feel, especially in 8-man groups. Although, of course, yeah, it does mean giving up the opportunity to use easy-to-use skills like foam or something, or a shield, of course. And that close range buff is applying quite heavily. I'm gonna go for the objective. if I can. And I'm gonna stay in it.
Critical systems exposed.
It's on the other side of here, yeah.
Data transfer halted. High-risk target approaching.
And yeah, with the close range buff, I will actually try to get close range as well. And this guy will hopefully just melt away. And we have the chest here as well.
Area secure.
So yeah, a lot of low-level players in this. Well, I mean, not super low, but you know, not the super regulars that quite often was the case with towards the end of season 8 and stuff, before like year 4 kind of started. And it's good to see that there's basically some fresh blood in there as well.
To lockdown. Evacuate the facility.
Although, yeah.
Redirect excessive power to stabilize power distribution.
I'm just reading through some of the names of my allies, and especially that top one made me chuckle for a little bit. I'm gonna do the loop of how to play Heartbreaker, which is just to stack up first, get your stacks up, and then go over to killing. So the chest wasn't in the first 2 locations I looked. I'm trying to remember if it's... Okay, no, it's all the way around over there. This one always still trips me up because it's just... It looks so similar all around. It's going to be by the control room. By the stairs leading up to the control room. And I will usually try to get it early into the fight, because then I will also know that my allies have more likelihood of seeing it. So it's going to be over there, and I see it is already a closed chest, so that means it's lootable. When you see them with being open already, as this one will be in a second, then those 2 positions are the unlootable ones.
High value target neutralized.
And there are maps online for those as well. That make it easy to find them starting out, and then after a while you basically get a feel for it. I know them by heart by now, as I should, of course. But gonna go for that heavy. And yeah, the close range buff actually doesn't seem to be that out there with this one. So it seems to it always bugs out, but the extent to like how much it helps is different per run almost.
Agent, you should be able to access the turbine now.
And we're going cross map. Also, it's on challenging, so we're never really in time crunch. Actually, I haven't looked over here for a while. Just gonna pop this up for a second. It wants to work. Hey, Jessica. Yeah. So what the? Well, actually, I'll. I was keeping it a little bit of a, the suspense going with it, but
I need you to fix
I will actually say, yeah, it is. I'm going to attempt to make a red eclipse. It is going to be a build, and that's why, yeah, I call it a silly build. It's not something that I think will work great, but I think it might be just
You're in.
interesting and
power to the new grid.
a mechanic way of going after a specific mechanic, which I always like to go for those. So it's going to be a red eclipse, all red cores, as my with the exception of the holster. I'm going with the new exotic holster, and I'm basically going for that bonus with the shield, where you can use that every 15 seconds to get a shock out, together with the Saint Elmo, of course, as well. Get even more shock out. And I don't have really high expectations for it, but yeah.
You're gonna need to expose.
I do think it will be, in the very least, it will be fun to just learn the quirks of it. That's usually one thing that I always like going for, so
What the?
quirky things that
I think the floor is electrified. Watch your step, Agent.
even if they don't work perfectly, that they at least let you basically max towards a
Evacuate the facility. 5,
specific mechanic,
Electrical grid
which some of my builds on my collection are like that. They're more trying to min-max towards a mechanic than trying to min-max to something useful. Gonna put some rounds over there. None of my allies are over here, so it's up to me to kill this guy real quick. Yeah, actually, the short-range buff doesn't seem as out of whack as it sometimes is. I will actually work on the objective a little bit here because, well, we're not in a time crunch. We could be if nobody pays attention. So they're going for that one. I'm already gonna go for... I don't exactly remember where that next one is. It is actually over there. Okay, so that's going to... He's going over there, so yeah, it's going to be this one, and then it's going to be the one in the back corner there. Actually, he's going for it. I'm gonna, in a second, go for the control room, and I'll be there once he hits it.
Now you just need to switch over to the new grid. This may
He was a bit faster than anticipated.
an agent needs assistance.
Yeah, at the very least, it will be indeed interesting. If nothing else, it will be, you know, a thing I tried out. But it's going interestingly slow, which sometimes is like that. Sometimes you don't get the parts you're going for, and then you'll get all of them in one run. And so I'm looking for parts of Eclipse with crit chance or crit damage, and I need it to be everything except the... that ally is the one that was going for the buttons. So I'm hoping... Yeah, wow. We got it anyway. It's always a bit dicey of leaving the objective, because you might have newer players and they'll think they'll just like, oh, I should follow the others, and then they'll follow you out of the objective as well. And then... So it's always that dance of, are we going, are we staying? Usually what I do is actually stand in the middle and emote. That usually shows to people of like, I'm here, I'm sticking here.
stable. Now get the hell out of there.
Where's our extraction? It's okay, it's that one. I'm gonna go for the chest before I forget, which I almost did there. But yeah, this build, I'm firstly just going to put it together and try it out. Just get the right stats and try it out before I optimize it. Because I'm a little bit low on optimization materials. I've optimized quite a few things, messing about with Cavalier and such as well. Or well, just some testing with them, and I wanted to have max stats on them, so that already ate up a lot. Although, of course, I can spend some watch point if I need to. I have about 10k in reserve across all my characters on this account if I need to, but then that's more than most people will have with several warlord runs or Woni runs. It should be fine, but if I don't have to spend it, I you know. Hey, these are players that know to wait, and they waited as well at the right spot, which is just, yeah, the spawn point is over there, so they knew.
Agent, stay frosty. Hunters.
And yeah, just gonna burn through them. I'm on a heavy damage dealing build. Yeah, that to me just looked like like something deploying a scale, but that was just some just a random thing in the game world. Stacks are low again, so I'm gonna actually go stack first again. Yeah, health gate. I'm gonna hide. At the very least, still my disrupt is gone because yeah, when you're disrupted, your hive will not deploy. And there we were. Hopefully this ally stops trying to res me because my hive does have me. The disrupt had worn off at that point. But yeah, this team has decent damage, so. I'm gonna actually go over to the chopper. Because that other place was just one guy. Okay, there is the close range buff is active a little bit, but as there I was hitting for 1.4 million with a M4, and that's not a regular number for this buff. And as always, shooting fish in a barrel at the end of countdowns. It's nice as well that nobody called it in way too early, which lets us get a little bit of extra loot. I'm gonna check what this very low player has as his build. I mean, that's not bad for a 2-digit player. Nice animation bug with the chopper. I'm gonna keep an eye on the timer as well. Okay, yeah. If by 5 seconds nobody had fired it, I would go out of my way to be the one to fire it. I want to see what the others, somewhat higher level players, and yeah, this is a good looking strikers. Even though with his main weapon, that Fenris doesn't make that much sense, and it's geared up towards more the SMG with how much crit damages he had. And that chopper with a nice animation. And yeah, it's gonna not be worthwhile to hang around. The next chopper is gonna be way too late. Yeah, hopefully we got some parts in there.
I'm impressed. I was pretty sure we're gonna lose the power plant.
Because yeah, up to now, I did 2 or 3 runs, 3 runs I think, and have 0 of the parts yet. Which for recorable parts as always, especially when you're in the, because if you're recoring it means it's in the wrong color to begin with, which means that it's more likely to have more issues finding it. So I have a holster, which I don't need because the holster slot is going to be... so I have a crit chance knee pad there. Not going to be too picky how the build ends up on crit chance, crit damage. I'll clean it up with mods if I have to. Crit chance mask as well. I need the chest as well. That's a crit chance chest. Yeah, this is mostly going to be a build that's also not really for the build collection or anything. It might get saved as one of the builds at the very end with that are starting with S, which are just test out builds and stash builds. Sacrifice, that looked okay, but I don't need any more of those. And no good nuts. So we got 3 of the 4 pieces I'm after. That usually also makes it more annoying because the last piece you're after will always take you the longest. So I have a mask with crit chance. I also, quite often I will actually use MXS's MXS Watts site to the build tool that exists there to see how many crit chances or crit damages I need on the build. I didn't for this one. I expect that I will need quite a lot of crit chances. But also usually with the 3 mods, if you're missing a lot of crit chance, you can make up for it in one way or another by what you put in those. I'm gonna grab some exotic caches as well with the countdown coins I made with the last few runs. So we can get 2. And the thing I'm hoping for especially is St. Elmo's, because I need some for several characters. And that was a maxed out Dodge City holster. I'll check out if it was. So yeah, maxed out exotics, sometimes I keep them around because I might have one on a character that I can swap to something like this and make it look nicer. Take optimizations away, basically, from the from that part on the. So I will put it in the stash, and I'll. 2 of my characters on this account are using Dutch City ulcers on builds that are in the build showcase or in the build collection, and I'll see if they need an upgrade. Yes, the red FI farm. Yeah, that has the same pain. Okay, I'm gonna swap over as well here to a next one build. So I haven't played Umbra in quite a while. I played it quite a bit when it first came out, of course, just to master the mechanic, even though I didn't really master it, but I had some time on it. Gonna inspect my team if I can. So a bad Heartbreaker, 5-piece striker, and come on, load up, and that. I'm gonna guess I'm with pretty low players, but that's gonna be enough for us to get through here. Yeah, Umbra's mechanic is interesting. You have to kind of pay attention to it. It's actually not very conducive to Countdown. There's way too much movement in Countdown for it. But just for variety's sake, wanna go in with a different build each run. Hopefully they will start in a second. I'm not the leader, right? Yeah, no, I'm not. Just to make sure. Wouldn't be the first time. I am the leader, and I didn't notice it. Although they've made that, of course, they changed that text on the bottom right thing to make it more noticeable that you have to start it. Just gonna spec this guy as well. Oh, yeah, he has that style of... I'm gonna give it 20 more seconds and then I will try again. Oh, wait, that's... I was hovering over the leaf, so he timed that quite well. Also, yeah, that Redify is always fun to have. So.
Communication relay offline.
Rikers have taken the power plant. Not sure what they're trying to do with a nuclear reactor, but they've triggered the safety.
We're spread over all three on this one. This is interesting. So 3 runs in a row, we've had the same bug. In the last 2, it fixed itself pretty fast, so I'm hoping it will again. And this time, yeah, it did again.
Unstable. Emergency lockdown.
Yeah, so their fix isn't perfect, but it's at least not... It doesn't seem to be
Containment failure.
happening that we're
EMP discharge.
stuck for minutes. Now comes the question: do I really want to 2-man this guy? Like, just get enough enough Umbra stacks to make it worthwhile. Yeah, so with Umbra, you build up stacks while in cover. Whenever you leave cover, you start losing those stacks, at least for the damage part, and then it works inversely for healing stacks. And the heal is actually pretty good and strong. Like, especially if you're going for a build that
System disrupted.
has high output, it can kind of work. Yeah, let's just go the normal routes. And one thing I found as well, so yeah, Umbra's bonus is mostly to fire rate, and that actually, I kind of like it on the classic M1A. It's not a choice most people make, and it's maybe not the most obvious choice, but it actually kind of works well. Gonna just check if any of the resources are available for us, or if we're just gonna get 5 dog decks total. We're gonna just get 5 dog decks total, looks like. Yeah, reactor seems fine. Yeah, the decay of the stacks is not that fast, and it all goes away pretty quickly, so you can kind of time it well. Oh, we're fighting Rikers as well. I'm just gonna go objective. Was surprised that nobody left. That also likely means that it is happening to a lot of people, and that's why they've encountered it before, basically. Just gonna build up my stacks, and then when I get out, it's my fire rate is nice and insane.
Critical systems exposed.
Oh, the objective is up there. There is someone by it, so hopefully they get it. Then I don't have to run up. And they did get it. Yeah, the bonus stays around for quite a while, so I'm basically halfway still on my on the bonus still being up, so with not having been in cover for quite a bit. I'm gonna build it up here, and now I'm gonna hop on out. Because one of the things I feel a lot of people feel is that it's very restrictive, but it's not as restrictive as some people feel it is, or I feel.
Area secure.
So next up, turbine. Looking over at the other screen. I was expecting the corner to be there already. And well, I should grab ammo here. Because yeah, that is the downside of Umbra. It does eat your ammo. You're increasing your fire rate, and not so much your I mean, you are also increasing out your bullet damage, but it's mostly towards rate of fire, and then that just means that you also use a lot of ammo more. One thing you can do actually is shoot the other one from... there's a hole somewhere around here. I remember there being a hole. Although I might just be misremembering. Because I don't remember that upper pipe being there. So I think they actually patched it, which is... I'm pretty sure when standing on top of those things you could shoot that in the control room.
10 minutes to lockdown. Evacuate the facility.
And here I'm basically with that buff of Umbra, and still works fine enough.
Purge required.
Gonna start firing on it and then build up a little bit, and then I'm gonna pull back and really hit it.
Incoming. High risk hostile.
And that's sometimes the fun thing of playing other builds and stuff. It's like, yeah, relearning it all again. Especially for me, that's like, I do go into cover quite a lot, but I'm also usually, I also quite often do the not going into cover, especially more on more red builds. It's just easier to peek around the corner of
Area secure.
just standing up and just using tall cover instead of going into like the actual cover. Someone's using a booster hive. Don't do the mission so fast. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, somebody's mad in chat with all caps. But their thinking is wrong, because you can always just do more. Like, yeah, you can hang around and just not do the objective for a while and just farm. Kind of works, but actually, especially with Countdown, the real farm is at the end. Those choppers coming down actually drop quite a lot, and of course the extraction and stuff. So it's better to just do like 4 countdowns and do them fast instead of doing 3 and sticking around and farming.
You're in.
Gonna go after this heavy. Sure, I'm gonna stack up the thing first so that I do have some charges going. Yeah, with these heavies, always go for that backpack. I was hoping he would. Yeah, so those backpacks, once those are gone, the nail gun will no longer be active. And it's really that nail gun that really hurts. I'm gonna go over here and shoot that, because that's usually the one that gets missed.
Experimental reactor unstable. Safety
Pulsing out, and I'm just gonna go objective hunting. It's interesting that several people went past this point and did not shoot that.
Magnetic containment failure.
Although maybe they're listening to to that guy. Or, yeah.
Nice work on the valves.
I'm actually gonna use this moment to heal myself up. Yeah, so that's the Umbra heal once you have it charged. It isn't great. But it adds up over time. It's, you know, you can use it to save you some... In the same way like armor regen. Like when you have a memento, sometimes it will just save you an armor kit here and there.
You just need to destroy the magnetic core. You should be fine.
So there's a core entrance over here, and then it's going to be over where those enemies have all spawned.
System malfunctioning.
That's a lot of enemies in front of me. Gonna build up stacks. Mostly full, and then gonna hop out. Yeah, that fire rate is nice. Like, it does do a lot of damage.
An agent has gone offline.
So one interesting thing is that I haven't had many... I mean, I'm gonna knock on wood as well, but I haven't had many countdown crashes. Which, you know, is surprising.
Field failure.
I see less disconnects, I feel, so I'm hoping that it does, like for most of the player base, it is that.
Detected.
Because, yeah, the at points countdown was very much unplayable.
System curtailed.
It's gonna be over there now.
System reactivated.
They're already going for it, I feel, so I'm gonna spend some time looting because that is my main objective actually here. Especially this place, yeah. Save some time towards the end. I'm gonna shoot that because it is along the way.
System disrupted. Incoming. High risk hostile.
Trying to see where the named is.
Restored.
He ran away from me, so we're just gonna go grab this loot and then go after him. Don't go objective. It's just get more time on. Big wave spawning here. I'm actually gonna take cover for a second, build up stacks again. I'm gonna hit the objective first and then work on these guys. Oh, that is an enemy.
Agent down. Experimental reactor offline.
And that was the final one.
System reactivated.
That's... I don't want to get meleeed by that guy. I'm full red, so... It does hurt when they punch me in the face.
Great work, Agent. The power plant is stable. Now get the hell out of there. Shoot off a flare so Torres knows you're ready to go.
So the extraction is right next to us because it's already triggered as well. I'm gonna go for the chest along the way. It seems I have to crash this time. Gonna give it a second to see if it recoups. Nope. Which, yeah, is a common place where it used to crash as well in the past, is right at the end. So yeah, the screen will go black for a few seconds while I load back up. But I'm actually happy with how few times it crashes nowadays. At least for me. I know some people have severe issues. I usually crash, let's say, once every 8 or 9 hours or so of playtime, which is survivable. Yeah, loading back in. And yeah, you sadly don't get to have your countdown end screen, so you don't get any of the coins, not even half of it. So it's just the loot that you got.
Safe area detected.
But we did get some loot, and hopefully there's a Eclipse glove in there with a red with a crit chance, which nope. But we might also have some pieces with crit damage, and I'll keep those around, or maybe even better, like higher stats. So I'm gonna take a second to just go through them. Yeah, those are all blues and yellows. I will hang on to this glove with max out skill haste and some skill damage, although it's likely not going to see some actual use, as I do have like all of the explosive builds that I kind of want to have, although one of them is kind of earmarked for getting a rework. There is actually a better way of doing explosive build than I have in my build collection, and it involves going with an sacrifice chest, especially. And yeah, that does mean that it might be worthwhile to hang on to this, although I think that one is with contractors as well, so that would take that slot. But I don't have a different one saved up. I'll throw it in there. It might not survive my next time I clean out my my stash, but yeah, it's in there. Deconstruct as well is done. The annoying thing as well with actually, one thing I can do as well that I thought of, that I completely forgot about, of course, is that I can craft likely as well. And I do have some decent amount of resources, so I'll take the hit and I'll craft towards it, at least a little bit, and if it starts to frustrate me, then we'll go do another round, and then if we don't get it then I'll craft some more and do it like that. Because yeah, sometimes the crafting, I mean, it's like getting drops basically, so Elite is even more directed than just target loot, because it is gloves of Eclipse. But I'm also not infinite on resources. I don't want to go into my points if I don't have to. So I'll do a few more. So in the meantime, I'll take a sip of water. Yeah, none yet. Hopefully polycarbonate is actually not one of the resources I need for this week's SHD resources one. So there we have a decent one with crit damage. So that's somewhat mission successful. It's actually funny as well on this character, of course. Then I have 3 Eclipse gloves because it has a normal Eclipse build, and then I also have, on this character specifically, I have the hazard protection based Eclipse build, the Iron Horse tank. Making sure I saved those. So I'm just gonna do the outline of the build actually now and have a look there. I'm gonna go into over here just so I don't see people running around and distracting me. Also, one thing I need to consider is, so I'm going to St. Elmo's and trying to think what would synergize the best with it. I would think survivalist because of the bonus towards my allies for status affected enemies. Either that, of course, or going the flamethrower. I'm gonna go the flamethrower route because, yeah, then I get the flamethrower. That's mostly the thinking there. And I need to actually activate it. And it will also give me the striker shield, so that the firewall shield to avoid confusion. As yeah, striker is also something else, of course. But yeah, that bonusing, the damage bonus increase of it is actually worthwhile, probably. What I'm gonna do as well here is, just to avoid confusion, I'm gonna pull in all the builds on this character just to not have anything in the stash of this character. Because also I might move the items to the stash and quickly swap characters to have it on a different character. Yeah, there's always a consideration of what character do I put it on, at least for now. Because this one has... Okay, so this one should likely already have both on Survivalist and Gunner an AR setup. Let me actually see if it's AR here. Isn't. Let me see what I have as Firewall with this character. Actually, only this is Firewall and this doesn't care at all, so actually this character might be the choice to go for. Because yeah, what it does need though is pistol, so I should remember to put it back once I get there. Yeah, and hi to you as well. I will not try to pronounce your name here because I will likely butcher it, but yeah. Hello and welcome, and hope you enjoyed the stream. And yeah, I'm just hanging out. Gonna try putting a silly little build together, which is gonna come together. Yeah, I'll grab just this for the specialization. And it's going to be an red Eclipse. So yeah, that's going to need some time to heal back up before I can swap it. So I will need the exotic holster as well for this. The Elmo should still be on this character, which is 2 of the 3 parts of what I'm going after. So yeah, I already have an exotic equipped, so I need to swap this to just whatever. Let's put that in. Shield is hopefully healed up by now. Nope. It's always very annoying that you can't swap your shield while it's still healing up. So yeah, let's do the... put all those pieces together, and then... so what do I put at the secondary here is a good question, because yeah... can't put a Scorpio, of course. I already have an exotic. SMG makes the most sense, most likely. And that might get moved around. So yeah, that part goes in. Then we have this glove with crit damage, this chest with crit chance, this knee pad with crit chance, exotic holster. And then I have to make a choice for what the backpack's going to be. Now, it isn't really a hard choice. I wanted, but almost always makes sense if we are filling in one piece, is to have it be Seska. So in this case, yeah, I'm going for a red style build as well. So Seska is going to make sense. I'm going to check what the crit chance already is. It's already over 60, actually. But I do have the availability if I need to. I'm gonna swap to a different weapon. So actually we're on just over 60, but of course a few parts aren't optimized. But I'm fine with it for now because of course we have several places where we could take the crit chance and swap it over to crit damage, which is what you should do. So some people choose then to go Grupo or something. They're like, I'm full, I should go Grupo or something else, but yeah, that's usually not the right choice. Seska is still usually better, unless you really don't have any options to swapping stuff out.
Hi.
I'm going to just recalibrate for now. I'm not going to optimize. Just to not make this too expensive of a joke. So we have not the holster, the glove and the knee pad still. And also need to move in some mods into this.
Switch off and unplug all electronic
Anything I can do for you?
So yeah, this is going to be the outline of the build. It's going to be with the firewall shield, the striker shield. Gonna make sure that I do have the damage bonuses equipped on it because yeah, that's important. I think I'm considering now as well is that I could go with, because yeah, the holster is of course blue, and I could go technician as well just to get 2 cores towards the shield. But yeah, so there's options, there's things to try out, which is always is half the fun is figuring out something that can work. I'm gonna check if I have any mods already on this character. The annoying thing is that I don't have any free, or I've not freed up a loadout slot for it, so I can't save it. But what I'm gonna do is quickly check that. A gift, likely, yeah. So the gift, the sacrifice, and a Grupo mask. I'm gonna take the mods out of those. I want them to just be from that one build, just so that it's easy to spot them. And that I don't accidentally leave it in there. So yeah, 3 12 crit damage mods taking out of just the red build that I have on this character. So it's on this chest, right? Yeah. Because then when I load that just one build, then it'll strip all of those out back to the other build. So it's that 12%. And with these lists as well, yeah, you can always do the filter option that I'm doing there in the bottom right, just to only see the crit damage ones, because some people go through that whole list, and that takes some time. I should also only need 2 because I'm using a backpack that this character already had, that already had a mod anyway. So how much crit chance am I missing overall? So that's 1.3, 1.4, so that's 2.7. Plus 1 is 3.7. So we would be way over enough to put 1 basically one roll over to a different one. I'm going to craft a few knee pads. Because, yeah, it's going to be handy too. Yeah, knee pads especially are resources that I have plenty of as well. And hopefully we get a crit damage one. Yeah, this build is basically mostly going to be built around that mechanic of the of the new holster. So when you have a shield, that holster, and the Saint Elmo, whenever you then shield bash someone, just melee them, then it transfers. It gives it puts a shock effect on them. And then the idea here is that then the Eclipse, because this is a status effect then applied by an Eclipse build, when they die, it gets spread out. And of course, it also has a Saint Elmo, because that's part of that the needed trio already anyway, and that's going to apply some as well. And yeah, just to reiterate as well, I don't expect it to be
Set of socket wrenches.
a really good build or an effective build or anything like that. It would be a good build for clickbaiting or something, you know. This one solo build will do all legendaries and leave you satisfied in the morning, as some YouTubers might do with those kind of things. But yeah, in reality, builds like this sometimes surprise me in how effective they are. Like, just I quite often mess around with just putting stuff together, and sometimes you get stuff that really works. Like, really the original instance of the turret drone hybrids kind of grew from that. Like, I wasn't expecting them to be effective at all. Even though, of course, they weren't even what they are today, so the high-end turret drone hybrids. But because I was expecting it to, you know, just actually back then as well, I was very much, as some people still are, of just, you know, red builds do it better. But then, oh hey, we have our crit damage there, even though it's very low. But always the right stat is more important than a good stat. So I'm gonna deconstruct the rest just so I don't have to scroll to them here. So it's this knee pad. I'm gonna actually, let's see, how bad is this one? So actually, this was one of the better pieces. I should have actually picked the worst part, whatever was the lowest on crit chance, but I'll hang on to it actually, just in case.
Hey, you looking for something?
I might run into something that works better. So the amount of crit chance we will still gain from these two pieces is 1.3 and 1.4, so 2.7. So it's going to be 56, 58 crit chance, and then 135-ish crit damage, which isn't bad. It's not great, but isn't bad. So of course going to miss one red core versus red builds. Especially, yeah, the stats, because of the Saint Elmo, actually bring this up by a lot. But that also then means that it's missing a damage talent, so that then yeah, you gain some and you lose some. Yeah, let's just go touch someone with this. Just gonna see on the open world as well if Eclipse is anywhere actually. Because we might just as well just keep farming for some parts if it can save me some optimization. Oh, it's on tombs. That's not gonna happen. But let's go after some hyenas or something. So, Shield. Let's go if there's some black tusk there. Let's see how just the mechanic first works and then play around a little bit with it and see if I maybe want to change something about it. There's one option as well with the backpack talent we could play around. Vigilance, of course, is gonna just be a good damage talent, but we could go something like Creeping Death. So actually, I'm gonna reread this talent just to be safe. So yeah, using all 3 items will offer all of the above. So that's the next melee attack to applies shock. And also, so yeah, it has a 5-meter radius. That was the part that I was unsure of. So everything within a 5-meter radius of it. Okay, here they're going to be spread out. So I actually do not have my melee bound yet to the button that I would normally use. It's on the middle mouse button still, where I use my side buttons for it usually. So I'm going to have to change that in a second. And yeah, that's with the upgrade of PCs. But also, yeah, so here, that kind of works. When they're all bunched up like that.
Ski detected.
So that's an interesting mechanic to play around with. And try to like min-max and learn how to min-max it. And I'm always fond of doing that, so that's why these kind of builds do often exist with me, but I won't expect it to be really good. I'll also do some damage calculations on it at some points in the future as well, of course, and that usually is the thing that really makes or breaks it. Because I want to get a little bit of a feel for it, and then I actually want to I'll go matchmake for some missions. See how it feels in a 4-man scaling. And also, yeah, with 4-man scaling, it's going to be... Let's see if it's 2 separate cooldowns. Okay, no, they share a cooldown. So if I do it with a shield, actually I should reread the text for a second. So what I feel I understand it now is if I do it with a shield, it has the radius, but if I do it without, then it doesn't. Let me reread the text here real quickly. So yeah, blah blah blah. Using all 3 items. So yeah, that doesn't really outright state, but we'll find out in a second. I'm gonna try to find 2 enemies that are close together and then melee them together. I'm hoping they will spawn on this side. They spawned on the truck. But still, if 2 people are close enough to each other, I'm gonna wait for that rusher to rush me. I'm gonna do it without the shield. So that seems, yeah, as if the shield does not... If you do not have the shield out, then it just does a single target. Because that other enemy was definitely in range.
Progress halted. Manual override required.
But I'll try again if I can here. These 2 should be close enough to each other. Okay, so that was very much okay. in the service of science. I will die here. At least I should die there, but actually I was saved by a mechanic that doesn't often That is so little thought about that. I even like totally forgot as well. Is that yeah, on armor break, firewall makes it so that you apply fire to the nearest target, and there, because it was a fire from an Eclipse build, it spread to others as well.
If you need help, come
So that actually kind of worked out. That actually did save me there.
to water, medicine, but most important,
Gonna just run on the street and see if there's like a 4-man patrol or something that I can give another try with not having the shield out and meleeing, and seeing if it's, yeah, if it's correct that it's just when the shield is out. Might also have a named, no. Of course, whenever you're looking for patrols, they're never there, and whenever you really don't want them, they are all up in your face. You know what? I'll just head into this invaded mission. So I'll do a little bit of it.
Getting that black tusk assault team out of there is your main objective. But there are a few high.
Yeah, here there is these few guys together, right? Otherwise, I could also just do the.
All enemy units. Copy. I'm coming
I
up.
want them to be bunched up more. Yeah, that could. They're not gonna bunch up together. We actually had that fire applied again, and I can spread it. That's actually that kind of works. I mean, not as a main mechanic, but.
He's dead.
Actually, I should check if the icon also appears when you... Because it's also weirdly worded that there's like this 15-second cooldown, but it doesn't say if it's... I'm gonna guess that all of these parts share a cooldown altogether, but you can't be... you can't be short till you try it out.
We have zero intel on how they're set up on site.
So barely can kill the elite in time to spread it out. But then, of course, also the St. Elmo gets some shock rounds and can do some stuff as well. Gonna grab this key just in case I do most of the mission. So there's this body over here. When you search it, you get this key, and that will open up a room way later on. It's one of the very first real secrets of the game. But also, it's a lot of people either don't care or don't know about it. But I feel it's mostly that they don't know about it. It is 2 extra chests. So I have shock rounds available. I'm gonna see. I want especially that guy to be shocked and one of these people. So. So that's built-in CC is actually kind of handy, and that you can do it every like 15 seconds.
Don't see him.
Now here's the danger always. So I've used my health gate already, and there's a sniper. So yeah, when they do one shot, basically it will outright kill me until I get it going. At the disorient of, but I can just do that, of course. grab this wave here. And the armor break fire again. It actually has a decently long duration. So it does spread out quite a bit.
That puck is down. Good work. Continue clearing the building.
Not the cleanest, but it got through it, so...
Picking up some encrypted chatter in your vicinity. Assume they know you're coming.
I could do this all day.
Also, I'm so used to tech tank shields that I'm playing it as if I have the shield of a tech tank, which I don't. I very much don't. The shield is literally one blue core. Yeah, that kind of makes me think that maybe also, yeah, Technician might be a good idea for invaded missions, because also I'll get those EMP grenades. And spreading those around, especially against Black Tusk, could be very good. And it would gain me a little bit stronger shield as well. Let me grab this Black Tusk chest. Actually, well, we are at the boss room, actually. After this boss room, I'm gonna start Matchmaker, see if I get anyone. Mostly because I kind of want to see what it will do a little bit higher scaling. Gonna do him first. Here, always it's very annoying to get shots through here. It will like, often hit those banisters and not go in. I'm gonna chain him again. I'm not gonna go for the quick kill trick because that would put my back towards all the enemies over there as well, so I wanna avoid that. I have shock rounds again, and I'm gonna get out of the way for that thing, and I'm gonna actually just work my way around, play it safe enough. I'm getting a rusher. Because yeah, once it becomes one-on-one, then I can go for a quick kill. But yeah, when I'm basically not using the mechanics of it, then that's going to be the downfall of this build, is when I'm not really using its mechanic of being able to just walk up to an enemy and do that to them, then it's just a weak red build. It's really like a striker could just kill the guy in the time that I need to just
One priority target
melee him down and then take care of him that way. But yeah, it is a little bit interesting. For a nice, silly little build. Just gonna briefly check. I saw my bit rates go yellow for a second, but it seems to also just have been a second, so if it was choppy for a second, then sorry for that, but but it didn't break, so I hope, at least. So yeah, environmental fires will also spread, which that's also going to be a thing that I should be paying attention to, so whenever I can just do something like that, and then spread it out. And I'm, of course, using the chest as well, so it has actually some range. Here I'll get shock rounds again. No? No, okay. I thought I was already up to that point again, but... So yeah, from this point I'll start Matchmaker, maybe get some matchmaking... I'm like, where am I? But sure, I could also just sort of when you matchmake from there when you're inside of it.
Received an invite to another agent's group.
Actually, I will join them. That's the annoying thing when you're solo matchmaking. Quite often, it will also just drag you into a different guys' group, and likely they're going to be at the start. So, or you know, even not even in the same zip code.
Detecting additional hostile contacts.
But actually, this is also a good test bed.
Location.
So, yeah. Shock, spread. So it's too bad, of course, that convoying isn't a thing anymore. This could actually be useful for that, especially if the backburners existed. So my cooldown isn't done yet. I'm waiting. Oh, I did not get it. There we go. So there I didn't even like need to transfer it. I just bought it with the spread of the initial one. Now shock runs again. Oh, that kind of works. But yeah, I'm still also very curious about what the actual output, especially of the St. Elmo, is. I haven't actually ran any numbers on it. I usually wait a few days. I try to get an opinion just by running it first, and then I'll go in and calculate it, because sometimes it biases me a lot to how I feel when I calculate it right away, because then I'll know what it is, and then this guy's matchmaking for a mission, but then he marks another convoy, and also convoying isn't
Getting that black
like
salty matter.
it's not really a thing anymore.
Priority targets we want you to neutralize.
Like, you can, but it's much better to just farm everything. So if these guys are going to go do that, I'm just going to go...
Agent detected.
They have rogues as well, but the open world rogues are still not skilled correctly, so it's not worth it.
Hostile control point detected.
But what I am going to do is just random matchmake. And I'm going to use the trick of always of seeing where we're headed to. So Jefferson Trade Center. Yeah, for those that don't know it, it's that you can go to the social tab once you've matchmade, and you can just select that player's name, and you can see where they are.
Isaac has the location.
We have a very low level player, which is actually another thing of badness. It's that I will keep an eye out if I see anything good. The duration of the shock is pretty short. I would like to kind of time it and see if it's... So there I did not get the fire, which I would have expected to have happened there. If this team is very weak, I will likely actually not stay this build, even though I haven't saved it. There's one striker, should be enough to get it with me. But the other two are, well, one is a solo that it's okay that it doesn't have build, and the other, I will inspect him again in a second, but what he had in my initial inspection, I would say isn't. Gonna see if I can get the pouch on. That heavy's right in front of it. I'm not sure if I got it. Okay, I did get it because it is spreading. And that makes this build a little bit interesting because, yeah, for instance with hyenas, I can, if I get a rusher, like I do here, to get the pouch, even if it gets me as well, I should be able to get it to spread and use it that way. I could rush in here and get a shock off, but also my Elmo is on shock rounds again. I'm gonna push up here, and yeah, once there's just one or two enemies, it's basically a guaranteed kill because I can always shock them.
Hostile radio intercepted.
I'm actually curious, and in a second I will try that. Because what is the wording of it again? You would think I would know it by now, but I still don't really. Using. Okay, so I have to have, I'm gonna try what happens when I melee without the St. Elmo in my hands, because if I could use something like a Big Show or a Cabaret that has that new talent, I could actually have really, if you can use that bonus, but yeah, no. It does not apply to shock when you don't have the St. Elmo equipped. And there's also somebody else applying shocks. I am gonna go for that pouch even though it gets me, because yeah, I can spread it. It does make it a little bit interesting. It's at least mechanically interesting. Yeah, here I have shock rounds again. I want to shoot something a little bit more over there. The annoying thing is, of course, when the shock rounds spread, actually, so they spread with half their duration. And that means that I can't reapply the shock because, of course, there's no way of applying a stronger shock. The only way to override status effect is if you do it with a stronger damage version of it, so you can override a weaker fire with a stronger fire, for instance.
You're near Espinosa.
But the status effects that work with durations, you can't override them. So that means that actually, yeah, once a shock spread, it's going to be a short duration shock, and that could eat up a lot of my St. Elmo rounds. But that's just you know, I mean, they're shocked already then anyway, so I'm gonna grab resources along the way. That's actually there. So here I'm mostly going to move in whenever that 1700 player, SHD player, moves in, because he was the one with strikers. The two of us are basically the real. Well, I mean, he's the real carry here, and I'm helping. Even though I'm, you know, not in a really if I was an Eclipse here, I could make this a lot more easier. I mean, a real Eclipse, not this one. A fire Eclipse, let's call it that.
Shade agent credentials authenticated.
There should be a terminal that'll let you reactivate the node.
Yeah, gonna grab the loot here. One ally is taking his time to get here. Well, here you can stand on this side of the table. And usually if you want to know what the areas are, first it's on the minimap, but sometimes that area isn't well defined. What you definitely will see it by if the timer is, like if I go over here, the timer goes red. And then when I go over here, it's green again. Whenever it's green, you are in the zone. He's gonna get he's gonna get pulled.
Authorization granted. Please stand by. Intelligent system analytic computer reactivated.
Also, I have one ally with Coyote. I have one Coyote buff on me.
Step to getting Isaac fully restored.
So that helps a little bit. But that also, I mean, Coyotes are popular, so
Agent to locate. Continue your sweep of the complex.
that doesn't skew it too far.
Hostile radio intercepted.
Hello?
Yeah, especially with this room, I'm gonna not move in too far. One of the mistakes that, yeah, like stuff like that, where it disorients back. But that, of course, always there was already always an red Eclipse. I just I didn't have it in my collection. I had several ones of them tried out, trying to make it work with backfire as well as. I don't want to push in too far here because yeah, this wave spawns. And with this wave spawn, actually, there's going to be stuff over here as well. So I'm gonna start working on that. I chained that heavy on the left, and then I'm gonna start working on the enemies. I have shock rounds, gonna shock the heavy over there, and her as well, and then back to the heavy, back to her, back to the heavy, and work on them like that. But yeah, this, so from there, from that engagement, I know that it isn't strong. Like, a real red build can eat through a heavy like that quite a lot faster. But sometimes variety is what I'm more after than just the max damage. And this could field a role as well of being a halfway Eclipse. But the thing becomes as well is basically trying to justify its existence by saying stuff like that, where like an Eclipse doesn't need to. a normal fire eclipse. Doesn't need to, where this red eclipse kind of really does need some, you know, somebody to have be its spokesperson. And I'm forgetting to use the shield a lot. I think I'm gonna just, because my stream froze there, but my bitrate was okay, so I was hoping it was just the tab, and it seems to be, because yeah, it seems to have been working just fine. So yeah, just gonna head in here with these guys. I have a few shock rounds left. Gonna spread that disorient. Yeah, it's mostly when there's reds and stuff, it works a little bit better because I can get that killing quickly enough. But especially when it's elites, I basically can't kill them fast enough. Gonna push in here and... So there, just as I was about to melee him, somebody actually got a shock on him with a St. Elmo. So that's actually an interesting interaction. And that would mean that if I went for that... I should actually check if the cooldown as well still gets triggered, even if it's is the case like that, where I'm not actually applying a shock, but just meleeing them. Gonna go for that, even if it will disorient me as well. And one thing I should do actually as well is do use my shield, which I'm not doing very much here. Because yeah, it is a damage bonus. And this build could use all of the damage bonuses it has available to it. Gonna go for the disorient, even though it will get my ally as well, but it will keep him alive. There's a chest in that back cafeteria kind of area here, so we'll go for it. Even though my allies will likely push in real way too hard over here. But they didn't push in all the way, they didn't actually trigger the wave, which is very kind of them. Because what I'm gonna do is actually something that might, in about 30 seconds, I will either say that I'm brilliant or an idiot. Because yeah, up here is a really good spot of getting a second line of fire, but it can also be very dangerous. So I do usually go up here when I'm eclipse, normal fire eclipse, because yeah, I can set a trap for enemies. But actually up here, of course, I don't really have a way at all of, because in a second they will spawn in from that door in front of me, likely. I'm very aware that I'm very much out of position, so I don't want to, yeah, because I want to try and see if I can, there we go. So I got a shock that was most of those people, even though I was blinded at the time. They spawned on the other side. No. I have a hive. I was trying to get a shot on they're spawning across from us here on the other door similar to this one. So I was trying to get a shot on something there, just to get the St. Elmo going. Something is still alive somewhere. Oh, yeah, that's why I couldn't see them. They were... It's interesting they made it all the way up there, because the only way up there is through those stairs, and you would think that they would be visible going up. While I'm waiting here as well, I'm gonna refresh the stab real quick. So we have this boss fight. This boss fight can actually be pretty annoying and hard. It can catch people out. And the reason for it is, especially this first wave, is mostly elites. And that just means that they do take some killing before they die. I'm going to see if I see any rushers or anything. I'm going to kill that. Hopefully get a spread out. I'm not going to rush in here for to punch them to a shock, because yeah, that's not likely going to end well for me. I'm going to heal up here. Gonna throw a grenade over there and just run away. So that's because I got blinded because the boss was aiming at me, and I did see the green coming towards me. Yeah, the boss here can be very dangerous, because that's, yeah, the thing of it is you're dealing with all these guys, and then there's a boss in the background just sniping. And if you get caught out by the boss, then like, this is one of those fights that sometimes it can become a struggle. Trying to see if I was going for the turret there, especially on the backpack, just trying to get that off. That boss really loves me. I see that laser coming toward shock rounds. I should spread the love around. Yeah, this is usually what happens with weaker teams. There's actually a really good way of making this fight a lot easier, and that's rushing the boss down, which is usually the play, actually. But I did not feel confident to do that with this build. So what you can do is actually go up the left side really hard. You can basically make the run all the way to the boss without enemies in your way. And here I will actually go for the shield.
Medical assistance needed.
There's not a... yeah. Barely made it, basically made it on health gate. It's gonna...
Agent down.
My hive had come back already. That sniper turret, I was hoping that its owner was already dead, but it wasn't the case. So yeah, that just needs to be killed. I'm curious what... I don't remember how early I joined this team. I think it was pretty much at the start of the mission, so... But I'd be curious to see how I held up against the striker in this group. Now we got shock rounds there again. Just gonna push in.
Look, there was nothing you could have done for Espinosa.
So I'm gonna wait around for the
Toying with us.
damage numbers, have a look at them.
Suffered a bit before you finished her off. Anyway,
They're not always super reliable, but you can make an educated guess when it is broken and when it's not that broken. There we go. It bugged out in other ways. But yeah, I did not keep up at all. Which makes sense. There's a little bit too much blue in it. I'm gonna drop the steam.
You have
I'm also just briefly going to do something on a tab in a... So it might...
entered.
Yeah, so I'm gonna check whatever got looted here. If there's any keepers in it, which, yeah, once in a while you'll still, even I will sometimes still get something that is usually not a full upgrade or anything, but just a visual upgrade. Like a full guard roll piece will, you know, sometimes get swapped out for just different pieces. Yeah, let me see. I might actually want to take this into countdown for a run. I want to see if it makes sense with, because it's a shock that is undisruptible basically, so for the hunters. And yeah, I think we shall do that. Just a challenging run of countdown. I want to get a feel for basically how to get the most out of it. And countdown is very much
An invite to another agent's group.
a place that there's a lot of bunched up enemies. The hunters as well are, of course, it's going to be basically, there should be just enough cooldown between each fight for me to get my shock back, so I can apply shock to them. And yeah, we'll get a feel for how this one feels in there. So that's a red build with a few blues. What is that? Yellow. Okay, just player starting out, likely. A non-build, let's call it. PFE striker. Ballyrov's he's a high level player, so I'll trust that he's on something good. I'll inspect him at the end, likely.
Communication relay offline.
So we have the bug loading screen, which
Power plant.
yeah,
Looks like they've triggered the
does
lockdown
indicate this again, but hopefully it will
We need a
fix itself like the last few times that it did.
cooling system.
Yeah, that low level player is, I thought would be very low level, is very low. Actually, it's curious what this guy was running while we're writing anyway. On this Fury.
Reactor
Well, that was actually
emergency lockdown protocols activated.
a
Minutes lockdown.
Regulus build, of course.
Critical pressure levels. To avert
Where's the hunter? There he is.
failure, system purge required.
System restored.
Yeah, a taste of their own medicine with a melee that kind of makes them struggle.
Activated.
We're also going to get the close range buff again with this run, so that should make this easily gettable. Where's that player? That really sucks for them as well, because they're low level, so they'll likely not understand what is happening to them, but they spawned on the other side, it seems. So they were solo fight. I press and held.
System malfunctioning. System restored.
So yeah, I can go for this, and not that it made a difference there, but I want to see if the cooldown is then short enough that once I get here, I don't want to be the tip there, because yeah, I am just one blue core, so it's not like I'm strong or anything. And I'll go for this thing. So yeah, all three objectives are fine, so we'll just go to the nearest one likely, which is where the team is headed to as well. For a second here as well, I'm just gonna see if I can melee these dogs. I think you can actually apply a status effect to them when they're even immune, right? Nope, you cannot. But they're no longer immune, so.
System disrupted. System reactivated.
So it needs to connect the hit for it to count,
Target
basically.
approaching.
Sir, please join us.
Copy that.
I did grab the other builds I had, of course, so I shouldn't be auto looting because I haven't looked for the chest at all as well. Check this position. I will actually go for the chest real quick. I do want those juicy SHD calibrations. We headed to reactor.
Shade tech detected.
We should also actually remember to use my visualization weapon a bit more just for its fire.
Rogue assault turret detected. Hostile assault turret detected. Rogue sniper turret detected. Hostile sniper turret detected.
I'm gonna go start getting in the objective and
Hostile striker drone detected. Rogue incinerator turret detected.
yeah, here with the short range buff, it's actually not really conducive to getting a good feel for it. Everything feels overpowered with it. Like I'm hitting for 1,000,000 there, where, you know. That's not what this build does. Got the chest as well, and spawned on the other side.
10 minutes to lockdown. Evacuate the facility.
Of course, I got blinded on my way in and could not get the melee off.
High-risk target approaching.
Yeah, I already know that meleeing in here can be quite a struggle. It's also annoying that I have to do it with the shield to get a spread going. So when it's a solo guy, I could just melee them and get the shock,
To
but
the cooling tower.
not when I want to have it be in a radius. Oh, it's cooling tower again as the main objective. It's always such a long run to the cooling tower. And also the annoying thing is so normally when you spawn, the two places where people spawn,
Agent, you're in.
the one that no team spawned at is going to be the extraction. So you usually actually can tell from the start of a countdown where the extraction is going to be. But now with it being buggy and just putting everybody together like that, I think it's still going to be the north because nobody spawned there, I think. But I'm not certain.
Release the pressure in the system.
But also it's minor. It's like we will know once it starts. So gonna get the shock off. Get a spread going.
Ish. Now that the pressure is stabilized,
So shock runs here. Gonna Whenever shock rounds, I'm going to try to spread it, you know, to as many people as I can. And not so much with the mechanic, but just by shooting multiple targets. Gonna go over here and shoot that.
You need to vent the remaining steam, and you'll be good to go.
And look if anybody, that person is going directly for the objective, so they know.
Hostile incinerator turret detected.
So yeah, for moments like these where I'm not really using the mechanics as well, I'm just being a red build basically.
Remaining steam,
It,
and you'll be good to
yeah,
go.
it just feels weak against, like, and we're heading over to. I'm not using a holster. Yeah, for a second I had to think if that piece would be useful.
That worked-ish. Now that the pressure is...
Get a loading screen. So yeah, this bug again, that's interesting. So did it pull everyone? It did pull everyone. Okay. Due to cooling tower, this route is a lot faster. So we had that earlier tonight as well, but during the extraction and put us put the whole team while we were heading to the extraction right in the middle of the extraction zone, and then yeah, that's also where all of the enemies were, and that we didn't survive that. I was the last to go down, but I went down as well. Yeah, we lost like 4 people in quick succession. Well, luckily it's on challenging, and we're not in a time crunch where on heroic time can also sometimes be a constraint. Like there are moments where
Vent the steam, and you're good to go.
I'm gonna go up here just so I'm outside of the steam.
Cooling system stabilized.
Gonna make sure I do get the chest. Shock rounds again. I'm gonna try to hit a few targets. No, out of shock rounds again.
Rogue defender drone detected.
Oh, he has a defender drone.
Hostile defender drone.
Gonna close the distance. I need to be.
5 minutes to
I need to pick up his loot anyway that he drops. So.
Exceeded. Purge system and stabilize the pressure.
Great work, Agent. The power plant is stable. Now get the hell out of there.
I'm gonna run to the chest from this route
Ready to come home? Shoot off a
because there's loot on this side. Check how many. Okay, I have 10 spots, so I can only grab the hunter loot. Need to check these if I. Because yeah, if I do get a better piece with crit chance or crit damage, then that will save me on some optimization. Because I will likely optimize this one to full. Have a look through my collection. Maybe give it a slot, but more likely it's going to become one of the X builds at the bottom. Builds that I have built at some point, but haven't hung on to. There's a little bit of rushing into the extraction, but we have the short range buff and plenty of damage dealers with us, so. Because yeah, one thing I like, there isn't a real truth to SHD level mattering as much, because yeah, there's I've seen plenty of way too high players
Striker drone.
on shade level still make poor tactical or build choices. I'm gonna shock him. Hopefully somebody went up with me as well, because yeah, also that that short range buff is making so that as long as we're in short range, it's actually not a hard fight.
They're trying to flank us.
Gonna check which one is hunters, that one and that one. I'm not gonna run it. There's too much shooting me. What I will do as well is actually do that.
System disrupted.
Maybe get it spread to them. Here I should be getting shock rounds as well again.
System reactivated.
I'm curious as to why everybody's dying. Oh, that's because there are hunters is back there. Oh, somebody put out multiple skills. I'm gonna go back and help with that hunter. Because yeah, we really need these hunters gone. I need to pick up their loot as well anyway, so might as well
System
go for them.
restored.
Torres is waiting for your signal. Shoot off a flare when you're ready to come home.
Agent deceased.
Oh, somebody actually fully died. I should have saved that timer, perhaps. The downside of it is that we have plenty of enemies now in front of us that I want to get a shot going, even if it takes me down with it. But yeah, that's helped us a little bit, and I'm gonna go for... I didn't get in time.
Agent out of action.
For the extract. And yeah, we failed the extraction.
We lost the plant. We need
Which is surprising.
power back on.
That team should not have lost that. But I did get a little bit of a feel for the build, but yeah, close range buff is
Safe area detected.
really skews your perception of builds. So but yeah, I did a Hail Mary basically to try to get the extraction flare going.
Here to check something out?
And I was hoping to basically survive with my health gate long enough to get it, but it was obvious once I had gotten in there and how quickly I hit my health gate that it wasn't going to happen. But I mean, I might have gotten lucky in some way, but I didn't. So there, for instance, if I was a PFE, I could have guaranteed an extraction. And yeah, that's why builds like this, they're fun, but yeah, they'll hit limitations where the right job or right tool for a job like Countdown is then becomes a little bit more obvious. Damage dealers and a few PFEs and a few buffers. I'm gonna give it one more go on challenging Countdown.
Invite to another agent.
Just gonna briefly check how long I've been streaming for. So just briefly gonna check that bitrate and everything is okay. Yep, that all still looks like it's not on fire. Yeah, I'm gonna head into another Countdown.
Communication relay offline.
And hopefully, let's see if we can get a normal Countdown without any weirdness like we had with that last one with a false start and that weird loading screen bug. Or well, loading and pulling us to a whole different side of the map bug. Just gonna. Well, this is yeah, it's doing a very long load, so likely we'll have the same issue again. But luckily, at least it seems to that if you wait for 10 seconds, then it does go.
Agent, outcasts have taken over.
Again,
the
we're
plant.
fighting
Lockdown
outcasts.
procedures have been initiated. Last thing we need is a radioactive green poison. We need to get control of the experimental reactor.
Who is this we, Kelso? I don't see you here.
Emergency lockdown.
Actually, I should check on the map where my allies are. So, actually, yeah, left is the right choice here.
Elevated threat of
I'm gonna see if my allies join me in that, or if they all go, I'll join them. Right? Yeah, if we go left, we can join up with the other team. But yeah, too many people went this way already. Because yeah, if you join up together, you both teams get to have all 4 of the hunter kills.
System back online.
I'm gonna go for a shock.
Immediate medical assistance.
He's protected somehow. Oh, okay.
Incapacitated.
I should look at directives before that. I want to see actually if the cooldown did trigger, because yeah, that was one of my questions. Yeah, so he was immune. I did hit him, and the cooldown did trigger, but it did of course not apply. That answers one of the questions that I had. Yeah, that was super messy, but there was also, yeah, the status effect directive is up, so we cannot apply any status effect. And yeah, that takes Scorpios away from us. And the other team is also struggling. Yeah, so that I did lose my hive, so I need to just, you know, not go down if unnecessary. So yeah, that's now Scorpios work again, and it should be fine now. Hopefully we're in range for the 3rd hunter as well. Nope. So I'll only get 6 hunters by the end of this. They did not get the objective along the way, which, I mean, there's a 23k player there. You would think. They're going turbine. I'll join them. Although maybe he spawned on our side. I didn't pay attention to if like the teams were mangled.
System curtailed.
So yeah, this is hack terminal and then destroy the servers. I'm gonna go the long way around here and check for the chest as well.
System malfunctioning.
It is this chest.
Online.
So in this run we don't have the long range or the short range buff, so
System disrupted.
this should give me a little bit of a better insight to it.
Critical systems exposed.
I'm gonna go for the upstairs one.
Data transfer halted. Incoming.
One single rusher from there. That's interesting. Oh, hey. I got max proficiency and on the St. Elmo, and that yeah, will take me to expertise 23 as well. So I resourced my way through some of the
Secure.
stuff, and especially the St. Elmo stuff. I knew I was gonna be able to just do it with without spending the resources on them and just doing it the old-fashioned way, so I did. Because yeah, the St. Elmo is actually very usable. Just in general. Over to reactor. Turned right a few seconds too early.
Online.
You're closing in on the target.
Yeah, the first team also has 3 players of the same clan, so you would hope that they're in comms as well.
Minutes to log down. Evacuate the facility.
And that can actually greatly increase players' effectiveness.
Purge required.
I'm gonna go up here and see if the chest, if it's this chest. It's not, so it's one of the other 2. Gonna give him a little bit of a shock. Try to spread it out. So one thing I could do here as well is whenever there's a grenadier, shoot their pouch. Like if I get the fire out on enemies, then that will spread as well. I'm gonna go, yeah, continue my search for the chest, which is this one.
Firefly detected. Hostile blinder firefly detected.
And I'm as far as possible from my shock round, so it's gonna be a little bit.
Neutralized.
Yeah, this is, yeah,
Hostile.
it kind of works. It has some stuff going for it. Yeah, I'm keeping an eye out for any upgrades to it. But yeah, this having played it for this little bit, it is gonna get optimized to full.
Agent, you should be able to access that experiment.
It's interesting enough. But yeah, likely won't get a... I have to look through my collection. I haven't actually really had a good look at it in a bit. If there's any builds that I consider basically completely worthless. That glove's going with me. I think I had a better one, but I'm gonna check here. Yeah, off to the... oh no, we still have another... oh no, we are at the main objective here. And another laboratory. At least being the last one going in here, it's it will be that I'll go for the objective wherever, like where the most of the team went, I'll go the other way. And just try to get the objective done. Although they seem to have done a good job of getting it. There's only one left. And those players are kind of going for it, so I will actually go... yeah, it is over there. Oh, they are actually going objective, which
Now, I need you to expose the reactor.
is not common. That sometimes lag works against you, and their lag basically saved me. Because yeah, that hugger should have hugged me. Although he was, I think he was a red, he wasn't an elite, so those guys are a little bit slower.
approaching.
in you know,
System back online.
not in their speed so much, but in their like mental, in their AI. So here I'm gonna get a shield shock. I went for a shield shock, but that did not seem to be what happened there. It seemed to be just a normal shock. Gonna be off cooldown in a second.
5 minutes to lockdown.
So I'm gonna try another shield shock. But also, yeah, there was already a shock spreading. But yeah, and those guys as well. I can hit their grenade pouches if I get the break on it and it sets them on fire, and the guy it will spread as well. Gonna go for the objective. Get that out of the way. It's gonna be over there. I'm the closest,
Activated.
so I'll go for it. So my shock rounds. So yeah, whenever like the shock rounds are up, it's kind of like playing a chameleon almost. It's whenever the buff is up, it feels great, and whenever the buff is down, it's a lot less great. I'll go for the objective, even though this guy seems to be going for it as well, but you never know. Sometimes you assume that they're going for the objective, and then they end up running straight past it. I am on fire. Gonna try get a shock out and get it to spread. So like moments like that, it's kind of like for those moments it makes sense. I was hoping to get that fire pouch, but I didn't. Gonna go for that weak point as well. I'm not gonna push through all these players to get a melee off. That would be. They're spawning back here. I am gonna go for a shock on all of these. So some players as well have luckily figured out that it is sometimes worthwhile as well to go the two new named the SMG and the LMG, because yeah, as a lot of people are running St. Elmo's already. Yeah, this could actually be an interesting one for pairing with people running. And I crashed in basically the exact same spot where I crashed a few hours ago. But yeah, I'll load back up right away. But yeah, it will be a black screen for a few seconds. Just gonna make sure that the recording as well still going. Yep. Yeah, I'm gonna load back and check that loot. Likely I will do one more either countdown run or a mission, and that will also be the final thing of this stream. As yeah, it is getting late and getting to the... It's already over the 3-hour mark for me, so...
Safe area detected.
Already kind of feel that getting to the end of my mental abilities. So yeah, let's see if what I had is better than what I got. I think, yeah, so it is actually getting destroyed. Grab my cash as well. Oh, I should grab exotic caches again as well. If I had the ability to. Of course, we didn't extract on one, and we crashed on a second. That's sick MPX. If I needed more of them, might have been worth it to optimize, but I have plenty of them already. I think I'm gonna go do a mission if I get a decent one in a few tries.
Received an invite to another
Yeah,
agent group.
viewpoints. Yeah, so here there's a bunch of spawns that are together and a bunch of spawns that are very spread apart.
Building and recover any intel you can find.
Friendly unit advancing on Tango.
Black Tusk has seized the viewpoint building.
I guessed correctly where they were going to spawn.
We need you to get them out of there.
An agent needs assistance.
So actually with Guardian as well, I think that should be interesting.
Serious trauma detected.
I keep forgetting what build I'm on.
Action.
This is not a tech tank. I cannot tank with my shield. Gonna go for the weak point on him, on this Stuggy.
System disrupted.
That's that red bar on his back. It's where you can shoot them to get a shock off. I am gonna go for a should have done it on one of these reds, because yeah, that guy's not going to die before I get through him. But yeah, we got out of it. One thing I haven't checked yet, the Saint Elmo just keeps it ammo, right? When I swap weapon, it does. Okay. It's special ammo. Yeah. I will grab some loot here. Or well, at least look at it. I won't actually grab it. I'll deconstruct it on the ground. There's this little bit of a hidden chest, well, often missed chest over there. I'll actually inspect my allies real quick as well. Yeah, skill build kind of thing, a something, and a striker.
In your group.
There's a Black Tusk computer near your position. Find it and recover any intel it contains.
But yeah, if the team is weak, like, while I even do want to like test, of course, this build, if it's like really weak, I'll just swap to a Eclipse so I can carry. At least like make it a bit more manageable. I am gonna push in here and go for that. So yeah, for instance, there, like that moment kind of worked. I delayed that, delayed them there for quite a bit. But the question is, yeah, becomes like what really will be the failing of this build is, would I take this over an Eclipse? Would I take this over a Striker? Would I take this over... and sometimes there is like specific answers to those, where there's like a situation that makes it make
Right
sense.
towards the production
Like-
studio at the top of the building. That's likely.
For instance, like the buffing builds, the Red Patriots, the Red F5s and stuff,
Check out
they
before you head on through the building.
aren't, for instance, great for the just 4-man groups. Like there, they make they don't make that big of a difference there, where that they will, for instance, in raids, and their buff is just applying to less people. go for the shock there again, spread it out. Where when it's applying to 8 people, it's of course a lot stronger than when it's applying to just, or well, 7 people, and then, or if it's applying to just 3 other people. I actually thought I had shock rounds going up, that's why it was a little bit more aggressive than I should be. I want to see if I can get a fire going.
Vital signs critical. Agent
I
down.
went a little bit too aggressive because I want to push into these guys and see if I can get a fire going, but I'll just get a shock off. It's right here. So the duration on the flamethrower is pretty great when you do get it on enemies. So it is actually a usable... just gonna fill the box first, actually. So it is a usable specialization weapon. Especially here, yeah, I can use it to put something on fire that then can spread. Although a flame grenade would be so much easier. There isn't a chest on invaded back there. There is one resource, but I'll skip it. And I'm gonna go for a shock, just on a full man, and get it to spread. I'm gonna swap or reload so I can get my shock rounds, or try to. It was just one short, so I'll get it now. And
Immediate medical assistance needed.
now I'm gonna heal up. There's no need to go down here. Also, my hive is still on cooldown, so. Shock rounds again. Yeah, it's moments like that as well. So there, I didn't do anything that so the St. Elmo's shock there was doing that. I just hit 3 enemies and stunned them. So I wasn't really even making use of what the whole build is. But actually, yeah. So the hunters in Summit, but also yeah, you could do the same with hazard protection foam eclipse of just incapacitating them, and that build was going to do it just better anyway. And that's usually the killer for these kinds of builds. It's just. It works, but something else works better.
Search that computer and pocket whatever useful data you can find.
I should throw a grenade down there just as to scatter them a little bit. I should have shock rounds now. I do. Gonna try to put it on several targets. Gonna focus on that heavy for a little bit. Also because he's a nice big fat juicy target for me to have my shock rounds again.
Agent down.
That ally was a little bit too aggressive. He was way too far forward.
Serious trauma detected.
See if I can make it to him. yeah, I don't want to be out in the open there. Was trying to see if I could range it in, but I couldn't. And that other ally got him anyway. Shooting through stuff can sometimes be very unforgiving. So that's gonna be the very last wave. Do I have a heavy again? So there, most of the builds could have chained him there. Something's shooting me, so I'll just get out of there.
I'm showing Black Tusk activity on the roof. We can't afford to leave any hostile elements in the building.
Yeah, we're gonna head to the bathroom. It's actually just for myself. After this one, I'll actually swap to a striker build and go through one mission with it, just so I have a bit of a reference point, because now I have this build a little bit like dialed into, that I know somewhat what its output is, and that's going to inform me of just the damage output difference. Gonna wait for my allies to catch up to me, because these guys aren't going anywhere really, so might as well wait for them. Gonna put it on multiple enemies, my shock. I'm gonna try and close the distance a little bit, not too much though. And actually try to go for some fire.
Immediate medical assistance needed.
Yeah, the fire is not always easy to apply. Gonna kill the healing box. There's also again the last guy over here. So yeah. Gonna see if I can get a fire going. It's like moments like that, it kind of works, but like
Serious trauma.
I could have been in an eclipse and just stun that. Like, but it is a kind of bit of fun of like trying to figure out a build, even like not just not just to go for the like the max output build. I find.
Vital signs critical.
UAV's going out.
But yeah, this is pretty messy for this boss fight. I will actually rush in here and try to get a shock going. There again, the shock there, I felt like my shield was up by the same ammo. That should have been a shock that was in a 5-meter radius. But it only got one person.
Neutralize those assholes.
So I'm curious to find out if there's something to it, or that I'm missing something, or if it's just bot. That dog will snipe me in a second, and
Immediate medical
that mini tank will finish me off. Ooh, we have multiple down. Oh, both of them also do not have a hive, which is choices. So I can't get him while this dog is up, so I'm gonna like. Actually, I will go for it. Not that it's here. Yeah, that's the danger of it. I have shock rounds now, so I can help with CCing a little bit. I'm surprised that the player with strikers that does not have a high. It's gonna take that mini tank out of the fight. Gonna go for the fire here.
Push this shit out!
I'm curious if we do get a unbugged final screen here, if it what the outcome of this is. And how much I contributed to the team. So yeah, I did not catch all the way up to that striker. Because yeah, he's a striker. And then a decent enough setup and yeah, not the wrong stats. A crit chance St. Elmo. Yeah, that... Damage to targets out of cover is the thing to go for. What were the others? Actually, okay. I'm surprised actually that third drone player actually got to the level that it was. Yeah, I'm gonna drop this group. Yeah, so as I said, I'm gonna just quickly put the St. Elmo in the stash. I'm gonna just grab a striker for my mission, and then that will be the final thing I run tonight. It's gonna whatever. It's gonna make sure that this character is kind of clean. I already have a max out Big Show, so I'll and another Big Show. Better known as some resources. I'll leave this build as it is here, although it really needs to be with St. Elmo anyway to work. So yeah, I'm gonna swap characters. And this is mostly just to... I don't run pure reds that often, because usually I only really run them if there's already like a good support player in a group. So if I go into a mission and there is someone on an Eclipse build that kind of looks like they know what they're doing, then I might grab something like Strikers. But quite often I will also just grab a secondary, because then there might already be two red builds with them often then as well. So I'll grab something a little bit more like secondary supporty. So not so much like an Eclipse, but maybe a third drone hybrid, maybe a Red F5 or a Red Patriot or something like that. Or explosive builds as well. So this character's striker is set up to be chest and backpack, but I have the parts in my inventory from other builds, and I have just a extra holster of striker, so I can just swap them over and it'll become this. I do want to run it with the St. Elmo, because also this build kind of also makes sense to run with the St. Elmo. Although, if I was smart and wanted to really set it up to work the best this way, I should have a crit chance be crit damage. And I could actually do that with the holster. I'm considering now if I want to do that investment for it, but I'll run it as is. Because yeah, I want to run with the St. Elmo also to get a feel for like how many shocks I get anyway. I'll go run the main mission.
Invite to another
I will actually see what it is. American History Museum, okay. That one's also invaded this week actually, so we're gonna fight some more Black Tusk, likely.
Near as we can tell, Black Tusk is spread out throughout the building. Be prepared.
Agent down.
They're at that fight, the dogs and heavies. So the only downside for St. Elmo with strikers is that it does lose its stacks when you swap. But that isn't that important here. Like, it doesn't completely break it for strikers, where Chameleon is the other one that has the same issue a little bit, but there it just breaks it a lot more. I won't rush in too hard. I do want to check what this player is running, and they aren't running anything really. I was just curious by the skills that they have, the Stinger Hive and Oxy. That's not a normal combination. And yeah, here they will spawn in a second once we push into here. I'm gonna set myself up to catch this wave. This wave always spawns a few seconds after. And I am at full stacks. And yeah, this is a good reminder of like what a true red does. And of course the other build wasn't, it's not its intent to be a full red. Just a full red. I will kill actually first. He's gonna get me. I was low on ammo. I should have swapped to my secondaries. I was disrupted as well while I was getting hit. And two people went down at the same time, so this could get very messy. I thought this player was a Heartbreaker, but I don't see any pulses going off. Or anything being pulsed, basically. So. Okay. I'm back in the fight. I won't actually stack with the ACS. I'll just work on this thing because the shock rounds could be useful in a second. Yeah, this St. Elmo already does that kind of stuff where you can, if you like, notice that you have the shock rounds and then just spread your aim around and grab a few enemies. Reload my ACS and put some flame rounds in there. I'll actually move ahead here because I'll go for the loot. And they'll all be in range to receive it as well if they go that way. So, one armor crate here. And as always, jumping down in between the ropes much faster. They did get the key. Grab that first. I'm not gonna follow that player in. I'm gonna wait for my allies. Because yeah, in the best case with that player, they were just running a jumbled mess of Cavalier and stuff. At best, they're going for some proficiency, which, I mean, isn't the nicest thing to do. And at worst, they don't know anything about anything. I'm gonna go upstairs because there is an black dust chest here, which I will grab. Also, I'm curious why they are pairing, like that pairing of Cavalier and Oxy. Like,
Serious trauma detected.
I'm just gonna heal back up and corner peek this mini tank.
Making good progress. Take it steady.
But yeah, it's good to have a bit of a baseline reset of like, okay, yeah, this is what actual full-blooded red can do. Just gonna go through that guy.
System curtailed.
Okay, yeah, there are some pulses going on. But you might actually not be technician, is the thing. He might be going just for the headshots to get it going. Gonna peek around here. Yeah, I'm mostly on full stacks. The objective's gonna be here in a second, so I'm gonna hang around here.
Download complete.
We'll review the data you just downloaded and see what we can make of it. Continue your sweep.
I will grab shot rounds. Is that a curiosity? I'm just gonna...
Flurry of movement right outside the north entrance.
Because yeah, it's not even very yellow core. Status effect and stuff isn't applying to Oxy, and it's barely applying to the Hive. So yeah, that's...
This must be the last of them. Take them down, Agent.
This must be the last of them, or is this the last of us? I'm just building up some stacks, mid-ranging an ACS. Not the greatest choice, but I also don't want to push in too far here. Because yeah, that was exactly what I was afraid of. Saved by my health gate. Gonna build up stacks again on this heavy. Should be safe to my left, yeah. I'm gonna kill that midi drone first. Saw that guy sneaking up on me on the minimap. I have to wait here for them to actually jump out of the chopper anyway, so. And then the last wave spawns over here.
Vital signs critical.
That was a grenade dog setting off a fire next to me as well. But I still had my hive this time, so. I wasn't disrupted like last time. And that was it for that mission. I'll have a brief peek at the damage screen. I joined pretty late, so couldn't catch up, but yeah, this is a good reminder of, oh yeah, this is because yeah, all builds are always in comparison. It's always about, it's not so much just what the build can do, it's, is there anything that can do it better?
Entering safe area.
And yeah, that's gonna be likely where I will wind this down. I'm gonna just go put the St. Elmo back in my stash and stuff and do some cleanup. And afterwards, that will be it for tonight's stream. And that was a little bit of fun, farming up a weird, silly build and giving it a test run. Back to this FAMAS, and that goes back in there. Gonna put this character just back to I have a shield on cooldown, so I'll just leave them as they are. Just want to double check that I put my FAMAS in here as well. Actually, one thing I can do before I head off, and just as a treat for myself towards the end of it. So I did finally get to expertise 23. I could have just spent a ton of watch point. I should have like plenty still. Yeah, I could have spent those, but I did take the time to just spend resources that I'd farmed and do it the old-fashioned way and run a few of the pieces just the old-fashioned way and get some kill XP on them. And that means that I can finally get this. I of course do not have enough field recon things. But then what I will do is I will actually... I don't want to spend it on this character. I think I have one character that is already actually above the 2k of the other ones. So I will actually stash it and swap to them and spend the points there. This character is fully clean, right? Yeah. The one thing I do when I swap from off of characters, just put them in like a clean state. Like don't leave them with trash, because it's always frustrating when you want to just hop on and play and it's dirty. So I think this character has a bit more watch points than the rest still. Nope, I had already spent those. But then yeah, what I'm going to do is actually spend this down by 500 points, which is always how I do it, just to keep it matching a little bit with the SHD level up there, basically. Yeah, I need so it goes to 1900 and anyway. I'm going to spend part of it as well on that. And I will need some printer filament for the St. Elmo as well to get that to 20. So yeah, that's a total of 500 points spent. And usually what I do is put all of the characters down to the same level. And that will give me the resources to optimize that other build as well later on. So yeah, I'm gonna grab, actually, I'll grab both the St. Elmo and I'll grab the FAMAS. And yeah, this is just a bad choice, really. So getting expertise over 20 on a weapon is actually not something that is recommended. It's more of a, it's more of a status symbol thing. It's, but I mean, having it on one weapon that is precious to you, then, like, I consider the FAMAS the best AR there is. I have one with that is god rolled and it's free talentable, so like if one weapon deserves it, then it's that one. So yeah, that's expertise 23 FAMAS, and that's gonna get stored. Gonna get my Elmo up to 20 as well, and that's actually likely the endpoint for tonight. As yeah, I've been going at this for close to 4 hours. ST Elmo, as this is in alphabetical order. I'll likely also have to get some steel, so I'll have to probably swap to another character. So, well, no, actually, no, I won't run it. I always forget that at level 5 it swaps to other resources. Yeah. And that's also why I spent the points on SHD and field recon together. Ah, yeah, Jesse. Yeah, I did get it actually. I can actually show it here in a second before I do actually want to grab a screenshot of it just so as a reference point, because it isn't saved in a loadout slot, so sometimes it's hard to get back together. Although, yeah, it's not a hard build, that one. Yeah, so this St. Elmo is going to 20. It's not the best looking one. I often try to get ones that aren't with like 2 optimizations on them to max them out. But I want to mess around with how that one feels. But that one is definitely a weapon that deserves to be high grade as well. Yeah, I'm gonna put that in the stash. Yeah, I'll show the build again. That was the object of the evening. It actually also kind of worked well. If you missed those parts, it has a decent enough playstyle, but its failure is going to be, which is with a lot of these kinds of builds, is yes, but I could be an Eclipse. Or with a lot of different variants of red builds and stuff, like for Heartbreakers, or like why Heartbreakers isn't as popular and stuff, is yes, but I could be a Striker. And, this one is, yes, but I could be a Fire Eclipse or a Hazard Protected Foam Eclipse for Countdown and stuff like that. I need to grab a St. Elmo's to make this actually look like the build that it is. But yeah, so the final product was like this. So I have a backpack.
Agents group.
I was really dislike it when people just random invite you to Countdown, so I'm going to step over here so they can't repeat it. Yeah, it's the St. Elmo and the Sucker Punch together, the Shocker Punch together, just for that 3-piece effect of theirs, and then with crit chance, crit damages all around. And it's landing actually at decent values for crit chance, crit damage. And then, yeah, Vigilance, Seska backpack. That's of course the easy thing to make it do. Yeah, exactly. It is very much a build that like has a mechanic and several like minor mechanics. So the things I already found out is like, yeah, the having that CC effect that you can apply even for disrupted and stuff. So I took it into Countdown and stuff as well. Kind of worked because you can still apply that shock, and it has mechanics as well of like if you're fighting hyenas, rushers, like their pouches to disorient several enemies becomes like a great asset. Or if you're fighting outcasts, to get the grenadier pouches to get stuff set on fire, because yeah, all of those will spread as well, of course. So there's some like playstyle things you can do to make it work really well, and that's what I usually enjoy with weird builds. I'm very much a fan of weird builds that do something very specific, and you kind of have to learn how to do that well. Just learning the mechanic of the build, even if the build itself isn't fully effective. If the mechanic is fun to just work around it, because yeah, you also get the shock rounds from the Saint Elmo that also apply and then get spread. But yeah, that's going to be it for me. So I'm going to thank you all that have joined me, and several people that have enjoyed it enough as well to follow me. And likely I will stream tomorrow as well, as it turns out. For my meeting today, I'm actually free tomorrow evening as well, starting at 9 p.m. Central European summer time, CEST. And I will likely do tomorrow's stream as well here on Twitch. I want to mess around on both platforms, and I did, of course, on YouTube a little bit, so I want to see how it goes here. Yeah, this will be VOD. I'm unsure what I'll do on the YouTube end, because I do want to have it there as well, but I can't, of course, I'm likely not going to put it up as a full video, because it's a bit much for 4 hours for some people, and it's going to be too often probably. So I'll make a second channel, which I really shouldn't do, and then put the VODs up there as well. So on the YouTube end, it's also viewable. But yeah, thank you all that have joined me for joining me, and I hope to see you guys and gals soon again. So yeah, have a good night.